Gulls Field. We're glad you're with us. My name is Joe Whitbread. I know it's a little chilly tonight, but this proves to be a very good first of two in a row against the Fort McMurray Giants. And it's Toonie Dog Night. More about that shortly. Let's check out
Hey Gulls fans, welcome to Toonie Dog Night here at the ballpark and into the Medicine River Oil Recyclers pregame report. It was a full defensive effort that got the job done on Sunday afternoon for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. There were incredible catches, double plays, and pitching that helped lift the boys past Brooks 4-0. All in all, it was a complete team effort. The Gulls only sent 2 pitchers to the mound that afternoon, and in great part due to this defense and the start for Bryson Leach, who saw 6 innings of work, giving up just 4 hits, no runs, and 5 strikeouts on the day. Seth Mahler then came in to close out with 2 of his own. The Gulls will turn to Noah Bourgeois, a.k.a. Bob, on the mound here tonight. Meanwhile, the Fort McMurray Giants are coming off a tough 4-game losing skid to the Lethbridge Bulls and are 3-7 on the season. It's the first of 10 meetings between the Fort Mac Giants and the Sylvan Lake Gulls this summer. Grab a hot dog and enjoy the game.
Summer lingers in the air, in the sound, open skies, worn boots. One more night before it's gone. Gulls summer send off.
The Gulls take game one. And he's looking for the strikeout to put an exclamation point on this series, and he does.
And for the first time in franchise history, the Sylvan Lake Gulls head to the WCBL championship. There will be a new WCBL champion this season.
That's going to
a home run.
Is it going?
Good night.
Enough? Yes, it does. Marcus Abelhosen with the walk-off homer. The Silver Lake Gulls have got the dog off their back. They are headed to the WCBL championship final with an 8-4 win.
One team coming in tonight to keep things rolling the right direction. The other team coming to look to change things as both teams coming in for a much-needed win here on Toonie Dog Night presented by Cisco. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you tuning in to Gulls Baseball on FloCollege, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. I'm Cale Clark. This is my broadcast partner, Scott Stimson. And yes, of course, the Sylvan Lake Gulls coming off a big win back on Sunday afternoon, taking it to the Brooks Bombers 4-0. Just incredible defensive effort from this group. I mean, you had great plays from guys like Charlie Collins and then Michael Quick and, of course, Coleman Perry at first. You know, there's just so many good plays. But then also, you're getting the pitching when you need it. Bryson Leach saw 6 innings of work. He gave up just 4 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts. Really great performance for him. So we're starting to see that pitching come around for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. But meanwhile, you look at the Fort McMurray Giants, and a little bit of a different story. Lost 4 straight to the Lethbridge Bulls, and their 2 of their 3 wins came against the Okotoks Dogs. So hard to kind of get a read on that, Scott.
Yeah, certainly. When you can beat the top dogs of the league, it's a good sign usually, but then you get swept by essentially what's looking like the number 2, at least in the division anyways, of the Lethbridge Bulls, who the Gulls had some success against. It's kind of an interesting read of what's kind of going on. Is this just a hot, cold team, or are they good, or are they bad?
Yeah. And this is who they're going to turn to kind of hopefully keep the pitching going in the right direction after a really good effort on Sunday. This is going to be Noah Bourgeois, a.k.a. Bob, with a 4.91 ERA, just over 7 innings of work. He's given up no hits, and he's got 9 strikeouts already in his name. So pretty solid numbers for Bob to start this season. Again, returning Gull for Sylvan Lake. Now taking a look at the batting order, Scott. And I'll let you pronounce these names.
Kiata Fujino looks to start things off as the DH. Marcos Arocho at second base. Nick Sove, the catcher, starting things out. Rounded out, Brett Patillo, Braden Dick, Adizel Santiago, Miguel Tetro, Arwin Burgos, and Carson Young. The lineup for the Fort McMurray Giants tonight.
Well, you already did better than what I'm going to do.
Well, if you speed through it, it's faster.
Exactly. Just say it fast. Cooper Cizelski, Dom Juicy, and Charlie Collins are in the outfield for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. You got Eli Duncan stepping out from behind the plate and playing over at third tonight. Tylen Graves in that shortstop position. Maddox Shaver, of course, in his wheelhouse, as is Coleman Perry at first. And then Reese Sherman will be catching balls and strikes here tonight. Now, we talk about defense and how it was such a complete defensive game for the Sylvan Lake Gulls in Sunday afternoon's effort, it's going to be a little bit trickier to play a solid defensive game with the way the weather is right now with this wind.
Yeah, it's not the nicest of nights. We saw with the opening it was 11 degrees or so, pretty chilly, some strong winds going on. When we first got here, it was howling, especially coming into the booth here, and it looked like if there's anything that's going to have a chance to leave the park, it would be left field. Maybe now it might have changed a little bit calmer compared to when we got here, but certainly a windy, cool night here in Sylvan Lake.
Keita Fagino, as you mentioned, leading things off for the Fort McMurray Giants, and he'll watch that first pitch go by for a ball. And Fagino so far hitting .345 on the summer. He's got 1 homer and a triple, a double, 10 hits, 6 RBIs.
Hit all the bases.
He's got it all, really, yeah. Pretty not bad, if you ask me. He's quickly up in the count, 2-0 on Bourgeois. And Bourgeois starts off with 3 consecutive balls. And yeah, I mean, you could definitely tell the boys on the field pretty chilly right now. There's some fully clothed baseball players, and it's a 4-pitch walk to start this ball game as the DH gets on base for Fort Mac.
Yeah, keeping the hands warm is already an issue, and you wonder with the pitching if that's going to be a problem as well. Obviously, he's had some time to warm up, but with how cold that wind is, it's going to cut into your hand every time and cool you down pretty quick.
And it's going to be huge in between innings as well. While you're taking a break and resting, that you're keeping that hand a little bit warm. You hopefully have a hand warmer on the bench or something warm that you could put your hands in to kind of keep warm. But yeah, for a lot of these guys in the outfield and playing defense for both sides, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to maybe, read where the ball's coming off the bat. Now the throw from Sherman down to second, and they don't got him. Okay, they're saying Don Buskus is the technically the third base umpire. And, of course, I don't blame Matt Hape here for coming out wanting an explanation. Let's take a look at this. I thought Sherman had him.
That was definitely a close call. Throw is on time.
Oh, he's got him.
Tag looked like he got him.
He's got him easy. Oh, he dropped the ball. That's why.
Okay, that would do it.
That's what happened. Okay, I didn't see that until the replay at the very end, and it was it looked like it was Maddox Shaver that the ball fell out of his glove. But maybe what the argument from Matt Hape is saying is, I mean, the slide came in, knocked the ball out of the glove, but I mean, I think that's fair. That's allowed. You're allowed to do that. So, anyways, it's a successful stolen base for Fagino, but a great throw by Sherman, testing him early. And it is a strikeout for Bob. So he throws a 4-pitch walk on the first batter and then a 3-pitch strikeout on the next.
Yeah, just dotting the corner there. Out and away, and caught him swinging on that one, just getting dialed in pretty quickly here.
Yeah, that's pretty good recovery, I guess you could say, from the first batter, as this is Nick Sauvé, the catcher for Fort Mac, another returning player, and he lifts this into the gap of left field. And they're going to hold the runners both at first and third, but the returning Giant does a good job to keep this inning going, and Sauvé lifts that right into the gap.
Yeah, he just pokes it right through and just gets by the third baseman, Eli Duncan, diving. Almost had it.
Yeah.
He came close there, but just rolls by him and ends up being a single.
And now that stolen base, too, is really, helping the Giants in a big way with a runner just 90 feet from scoring here to break open the scoring in this ball game. Runners on the corner, and this will bring up Brett Patillo, the first baseman. Braden Dick on deck. And that is fouled off behind the Gulls Stadium into the parking lot. 1-1. Yeah, definitely a chilly day here in Sylvan Lake, windy, and I think the whole league is obviously experiencing this kind of, over it by now, wanting some sunny days. And I'm hoping that for the league's sake, for the players' sake, and the fans, that they get some warm weather in the near future. This is popped into foul territory, drifting away, and it's going to land harmlessly on the warning track just by the Giants bullpen, as that wind really just seemed to take it away from the right fielder and Charlie Collins trying to get a beat on it.
Yeah, it certainly did. It kept carrying it kind of towards us, towards the Giants bullpen there, and it just kept carrying, and eventually stayed in the field of play, but a long run for Collins there.
1-2, and the throw down to first just to keep Sauvé in line. And there's a strikeout as Patillo shocked with that call on the corner, and Patillo can't believe it. Good pitch there by Noah Bourgeois. And I don't know, yeah, I think
starting to ride inside. You could see it kind of swoop in towards the batter. Not an easy pitch to take
that's
or
a tough
look
one.
at.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think if you're the home plate umpire, Levi Wagner, I think that's, probably as close of a call as you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So let's bring up Braden Dick. Runners remain on the corners for Fort Mac. Another throw over to first keeps Sauvé in line. As you know, they're probably going to try to, we've seen that.
Try the double steal?
Yeah, the double steal play again. I've seen that a few times from different teams, of course. Sylvan Lake likes to do that a lot, actually. They did it again. But let's take a look at the umpires while we have a chance. So as I mentioned, home plate umpire tonight, Levi Wagner. Jeff Chipley back here at Gulls Field over at first. He's the crew chief tonight. And then Don Buscas returns for his third straight game here at Gulls Field. And this is lifted into left field. Settling underneath of it is Cizelski. And Cooper Cizelski makes the catch. And just like that, the Sylvan Lake Gulls get out of this inning, but they do give up one walk, one hit. But how about Noah Bourgeois? He's got a couple strikeouts. And just like that, Sylvan Lake coming to bat, scoreless.
Summer lingers in the air, in the sound, open skies, worn boots, one more night before it's gone. Gulls summer send-off.
Well, the Fort McMurray Giants are going to turn to a returning player for them. He's wearing 44 tonight, but normally he's number 33. This is Ash Amerlin from Oranjestad, Aruba. He goes to Montreat College. He's already got 2 starts on the season, 1-1. He's ERA is probably what he's looking to improve on here this evening. He's got 5 innings of work. He's given up 5 hits. 14 walks is a little bit of a number that stands out in this one. Still looking for his first strikeout of the summer. But you look at what he did last year, and I'll do that in a bit here after this batting order as we take a look at who he's going to face. Elias Duncan's going to lead things off with Maddox Shaver and then Joey Marino, the 1-2-3 hitters. You get Cooper Cizelski, of course, in there. And then rounding things out will be Dom Juicy, who we have seen in previous games at the top of that batting order. All right, take a look at the defense.
Yeah, we got Arwin Burgos in left field, the Diesel Santiago center, Braden Dick in right, and then Carson Young at third, Miguel Tetro at shortstop, Marcos Orocho at second base, Brett Patillo at first, and Nick Sauvé behind the plate catching for Ash Amerlan.
So as I was mentioning, Ash Amerlin, like last year, he was, had 12 games, 6 starts, 36 innings is what he got in last year, this left-hander, and he piled up 70 strikeouts while going 2-3, a 4.25 ERA. And then, of course, he's made as a senior 20 appearances at Montreat College over the last 2 seasons and has 111 strikeouts in 69 innings. So those numbers really stand out to you, especially when you've seen that he's got none right now in the summer, and that is unlike him. So you know he's looking for a night to maybe really come alive and come into his own like he normally can.
It makes you wonder how many 3-2 counts he's seen that hasn't gone his way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you got to wonder because, 14 walks, probably quite a few.
Yeah.
Obviously. And Duncan, he had a really good game on the weekend as well against the Brooks Bombers. I believe he went 2 for 3 at the plate the one evening. Not just missing. And you see the pitcher, Hammerlin, he gives a little bit of a shake head. Oh, okay. Could have been close, maybe.
I had a similar reaction to him. I could have seen that as a strike,
yeah,
but
yeah. It was close. It's close, for sure. And this is hit on the ground. Nice pickup there by Amerlin, and he turns and fires an absolute dart over to first in time to Brett Patillo. Wow. Okay.
That was an impressive display of athleticism. He runs over, tracks it down, slides, and just guns it to first base. I think that might have been harder than any of his pitches we've seen.
Like that, you don't see very often from a pitcher to be, quite athletic like that, to make a really great sliding play and then turn around and rip one. Wow.
That's an extension of the infield there.
Okay. Welcome to the game,
No kidding.
Ash Amerlin. So far, good start right there defensively. And he's going to face Maddox Shaver.
Well, just the start that he's had, he's attacking these batters, and that's what he did defensively, attacking the ball there.
So for the first time in a long time, Maddox Shaver had a quiet day on Sunday. He went 0 for 3, which is very unlike Mr. Shaver so far this summer. We've yet to see him really have a day like that. But Maddox Shaver, he's one of those guys that comes in, and he is just been so far lights out for this Gulls team. Going, 13 RBIs, 5 home runs. He's got a 463 batting average. So that day brought his average below 500. And he takes a pretty good cut at that one, but a good 91 miles per hour fastball by Amerlin.
And on top of that, for Shaver, you can play him pretty well anywhere in the infield, too. He's been pretty dynamite.
Yep.
Especially at second base.
Yeah, second base has kind of been his home base for the last few games now in a row. He's been definitely doing a really good job and, helping out with the double plays.
Yeah, he and Tylen Graves up the middle. That's a pretty solid
Yeah,
defensive core there.
Oh, and then he got Rittenhouse over at third with a crazy arm as well. And, of course, Rittenhouse getting the night off today with Elias Duncan being the guy over there today. And then Perry at first. That guy he's athletic in his own ways. So a full count here to Maddox Shaver, brought it back to full. And you were talking about it, Scott. Wonder how many full counts Amerlin has maybe not go his way. So we'll see if he can pick up his first K of the season. One away so far against Sylvan Lake. And he's safe, so it doesn't go Amerlin's way. Maddox Shaver will get the walk down to first. And that might just be the storyline for Amerlin this season, is not maybe being able to finish out the strikeouts.
If that's the story,
If that's
got to be.
We're just assuming, of course.
Yeah.
We don't know what's
Give him the benefit of the doubt, having never seen him play this year.
Exactly.
But if that's the case, he might have had a handful go that way. But like that's got to be very frustrating as a pitcher.
Yeah, it would
that
be.
You work your way either back into a count or you kind of slip up and just can't close out.
Of course, we don't have any video footage. I haven't been able to. I mean, we could, I guess, watch the other games, but we're so busy watching these games, it's hard to, keep tabs on other games in the league. But what we do know is Fort Mac, in my pregame show, I was mentioning, struggling, coming off a 4-game losing skid against the Lethbridge Bulls, and they got rang up quite a bit with runs scored against them. I mean, in those 4 games on Wednesday, June 10th, they lost 11-2. On the Thursday, the 11th, they lost 7-2. Then on the 12th, they lost 13-6, and then on Saturday, they lost 12-3. So, kind of more blowout wins than anything in these last 4. This is Joey Marino, the DH. He had a 2-run homer in his game on Sunday as the DH there, and that's a ball as well. Thought that might have had a chance to catch the corner at the very end.
It was a good breaking ball there. Looked like it was coming close to the corner, but obviously Levi Wagner is holding a pretty tight strike zone tonight, which he usually has.
Mm-hmm. Cooper Szyzelski is on deck. Throw down the first. Keep Shaver in check, and we look at Maddox Shaver's stolen bases so far this year, and I'll have to find it because I thought I had it on my stat sheet here, and I apparently don't. But some guys really have had a lot of stolen bases this year. We'll get around to talking about that later on in the broadcast. This is hit on the ground. The throw goes past the second baseman. It's not even close. So an error there on the shortstop as Maddox Shaver now makes his way over to third. So an error to that shortstop, and yeah, that's a
just way off line
break. Yeah, and Marino would get on with a fielder's choice, I would assume, unless that would technically.
I think he's just on with the
error. I would just be on with an error. Yeah,
it should have been a fielder's choice, but
it would have been.
Just didn't happen.
Yeah, so an error there. Cooper Szyzelski now at the plate. Runners on the corner for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Very similar situation to what we saw at the top of this inning for Fort Mac. See if Fort Mac can get out of this hole.
Yeah, this is where the Gulls had a big strikeout from Nora Bourgeois to get them right back in the thick of things defensively. And if you're Amerland, that's what you're looking for this season.
Well, they don't have the stolen bases category on online stats, so that's probably why I couldn't find it. So runners at third and first. Maddox Shaver over at third. Joey Marino over at first. And this is Cooper Szyzelski with Charlie Collins on deck. And Szyzelski's one of those guys that we're still waiting to see him, kind of pop off with the bat as well, being the league MVP back in 2024, had a great bat, and this year he's a little bit quiet to start out. He's only got 4 games under his belt, but still looking for his first hit back in Sylvan Lake. And he's up with a 3-0 count. And Amerlin is going to walk him to load the bases. So Szyzelski now over at first. That will bring up Charlie Collins. And he's got a pretty good bat as well. He's hitting .375 so far this summer. Still looking for his first RBIs, however. But in 4 games, he's gone 6 for 16.
So you're saying he's due?
He's due for, he's definitely due to drive in some runs. Absolutely. Anything in the outfield should, as long as it's deep enough, should score a run. Or I guess a walk could also, score a run.
That's true.
We've seen a couple of those in the last few games for Sylvan Lake. Some RBIs credited on a walk. Two 2-0 quickly to Collins. Coleman Perry on deck. Kind of getting to that meat of the order right now. Sylvan Lake looking to break open the scoring here in the bottom of the first. Get out to a good start. And that's a strike up high, but it's in the zone. Now it's even count, 2-2. Charlie Collins, the right fielder.
He wanted that one. That was a big cut there.
Yeah, he did. He was trying to go against the wind on that one. Yeah, we were talking a little off air before the game about can't really see a lot of home runs being hit out of the park here tonight, but again, depends on what that wind's doing. It's a strikeout, and the first strikeout for Ash Amerlin on the season. Finally gets it to go.
Yeah, good job there for Amerlin getting Collins to kind of chase that one low and outside of the zone. So he records that first K and looking to get one more out here to come out unscathed.
Yeah. That would be absolutely huge for the Giants. Coleman Perry, though, looking to cash some runners in here. Base is still loaded. Can the Utah kid get it done? And he watches the first pitch go by for a strike. That's low. Coleman Perry, 326 so far this summer. He's got 7 RBIs. He's got the 1 homer, several extra base hits, and his 43 at-bat appearances.
He's had some pretty clutch hits so far this season for the Gulls.
He can hit it. He can hit it hard and far. And he you think he wanted that one to go far. Wow, was that ever a cut? If that was connected, that would have been out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Holy. 1-2. Bases loaded. Fort Mac looking to try to get out of this inning. Huge pitch here for Ash Amerlin. And Amerlin gets out of this inning as Coleman Perry froze at the plate. And a great couple of strikeouts back-to-back for Amerlin to strand a bases-loaded situation for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and we are still scoreless heading into 2.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Have you ever wondered if there's one thing that connects people from across our province? Something that connects the coffee shop to the spray park, or the brewery to the rodeo, the campground to the sports field. It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected, because it truly is, and it's all we think about, so you don't have to.
Bob back on the mound for his second inning of work, and a pretty solid first inning. Already a couple Ks under his name for this first inning after, and it's still scoreless between the Giants and the Gulls. Both teams in scoring position, but both teams left base runners stranded. So we'll see what the second inning brings here, as this is Adizo Santiago, and then he's got Miguel Tetreault and Arwin Burgos, the scheduled batters in this inning.
5 runners left on base in the first inning between the two teams. Like that's a lot.
That's I mean, that just goes to show, you know, the pitchers dialing it in when they need to, and the defense helping out when they can.
Yeah, Emerland really dialed in towards the end of the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the inning. That was huge.
And this is hit good into right center field. That will drop for the first base hit, I should say, of the inning, because this is their second base hit of the night. So Adizo Santiago lifts this into right center.
Yeah, finds a little spot in the grass there towards right field, so he finds himself on base to start things out in the second inning.
That'll bring up Miguel Tetreault, the shortstop for the Giants. And Bourgeois goes over to first.
He's been keeping the runners honest at first base.
He has been, yeah. He's not afraid to throw it down there, that's for sure. And then we've already seen try a pickoff play at second from Reese Sherman behind the plate. So something that you got to definitely be aware of if you're Fort Mac. I saw a stat earlier today, and it was Okotoks that are I'm pretty sure Okotoks is the leading team in the league for stolen bases. And I don't know how the guys from the WCBL report got their stolen bases numbers, because we can't seem to find them anywhere online, but they must have a little bit of, they got something on them that they can find those details for us. This is 2-1 to Miguel Tetreault. Arwin Burgos on deck, and then Carson Young will round out the batting order. So after even all that bases loaded situation for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, out of all that, it still wasn't a base hit.
No.
Not even a hit yet for the Gulls. So
it was the error by the shortstop that allowed that inning to continue, really.
Yeah. And then a couple walks. And another throw down to first. Well, with I think we were kind of mentioning in the pregame show, but with just the way the week is shaping up for Sylvan Lake Gulls, I mean, this weekend is going to be a tough one. They got to get set and ready for a Lethbridge Bulls team, but you know, you got Fort Mac here and then Brooks, and of course, Scott, as we know in this league, no team is a given. No team is easy. We learned that with Brooks. They get their first two wins on the season against Sylvan Lake. But you definitely got to use this week and these games as, you know, some building games, if you know what I mean. Get that confidence, build some good habits out of these next 4 games. Treat them like you're playing the best team in the league, and you know, get ready for that highly competitive, and not saying it's not competitive against these teams, but get ready for a Lethbridge Bulls team that you know is going to be a huge, huge test.
Yeah, we've seen them kind of play up and down this year. Like, they kept it relatively close with the Okotoks Dogs. They win some big games against Lethbridge, but then splitting that last series with Brooks kind of hurts.
Yeah,
like,
and Energy City even.
Yes,
I mean,
Energy City as well.
They just escaped that series with a 2-1 win. So, yeah, I mean, kind of, I guess more consistency is what I guess I'm maybe saying is what they could use for this week. Just trying to build more of that consistency and good game style of play.
I think it starts with the pitching.
It does, yeah, absolutely.
If you have solid outings, then that helps a lot when you don't have to play from behind.
Yep. And Fort Mac, on the other hand, and this is a team we've seen over the years, so in a full count here to Tetreault, and it's right down the middle.
He does not believe that
He
one.
doesn't think it is. I mean, maybe it wasn't quite round the middle, but it was a little bit, I guess, to the inside of the batter. Let's take a look at this here. I think that's a strike.
Yeah.
I think it looked like it from here.
When you see Levi Wagner enough behind the plate, you kind of pick up on some tendencies. Like,
Yeah.
he's got a little delayed strike call,
Yeah.
but you could just see that he was working on that strikeout call. Like, obviously, it's not one that they agree with, but could be some good framing there from Sherman as well.
Yep, absolutely.
That's what your catcher's there for. Present the ball.
So this will bring up Arwin Burgos and then Carson Young. Still got a Diesel Santiago over at first. And there's the strike zone. But anyway, that's what I was mentioning with Fort McMurray Giants. They're one of those teams that I have personally seen over the past few years where they can play some of their best ball against you, and then they can also have some of their blow-ups and their mistakes against you as well. So they're also one of those wild card teams that comes in and you're not sure what team you're really going to get with the Fort McMurray Giants. And they've been a pretty good team over the last few years. Unfortunately for them, though, like last 2 seasons, they just missed the playoffs. And that was the first time in a while because before that, they made the playoffs on consecutive years. So definitely an odd last couple of years for them as this is drilled right to Tyler Graves. Maddox Shaver to Perry for the double play. The first double play of the evening, and it was a big one to get out of this inning. So a good flip there by Graves to Shaver and then turning it. And like I said, those three together are dangerous. Sylvan Lake coming to bat in the bottom of the second.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Ash Amerlin still on the mound for inning number 2 of the Fort McMurray Giants. And after getting his first strikeout of the season, the next batter, he strikes out as well. So I think the monkey's off the back, and it's now just, all right, is Amerlin going to start rolling out these strikeouts? Making up for lost time. And he's going to face Tylen Graves, a.k.a. as my broadcast partner over here made up for him. We call him the Grave Digger.
Which we saw last inning wide defensively. He's just going to get you out.
I love it.
He's going to get you every time.
Such a good nickname. We ran into him while we're waiting in line for our hot dogs because, of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is Toonie Dog Night here at the ballpark, and you got to take advantage of Toonie Dogs. So, you know, me and my broadcast partner Scotty here, we're like, you know, I think it's safe to say what's for dinner tonight. Couple hot dogs.
Yep.
We're in lineup. Tyler Graves walks by, and I had to ask him. So we came up with a nickname for you, the Grave Digger, and he's like, I haven't heard of that yet. And he's like, actually, I like it. Yeah, that sounds, you know, that's a new one. Like he was kind of all for it. So I was like, are you okay? Are you okay if we call you that? And he said, absolutely. So we got
We're running
permission.
with it.
Graves family, if you're watching on right now, we did get permission from Tylen that we could call him the Grave Digger. Kind of going to you kind of got a reference off a Monster Jam, didn't you?
Yeah.
I love it. 2 and 1.
Because that's where the nickname for Gravedigger is.
Yeah, exactly.
But his play is just doing it, because early on he was hitting some dingers, and then defensively he just gets everyone out. He'll dig your grave 2 ways.
Yeah, not a lot gets past Tylen Graves at shortstop. If it's hit on the ground to him, good chances he's probably going to make the play on you. Unless it's deep enough, which, I mean, even then, he still stops the ball from getting into the outfield. It's, and not a lot gets past him.
No.
So the count now even to Tylen Graves, and then we got Reese Sherman and Dom Giusti rounding things out here in the 2nd inning. Still looking for the Gulls' first hit of the ball game. They did have a bases loaded situation back in the 1st if you're just tuning in now, but we're unable to drive anything in. And that's a strikeout, and Graves knew it all the way. Good pitch there for Ash Amerlin. 3 straight strikeouts.
Yeah, Amerlin is definitely feeling himself tonight. He's got that first one, and he hasn't stopped since. 3 in a row, like you said, and he's looking to mow down the rest of the lineup here.
You got to wonder, and I, you know what? Actually, I'm looking at my stat sheet here, and I do apologize. We were going off the graphic that we had on the TV screen here, but it is showing he had 9 Ks coming into tonight. So we do apologize. Ash Amerlin already knows what it's like to get the Ks. I apologize. I was, yeah, my bad. Should have double-checked my facts. That's on me. So Reese Sherman at the plate. But, I mean, he's just keeping the Ks going. He's having a good night. And like I was mentioning, those numbers from last year and even at college, it goes to show. Guy knows how to paint the zone. But he has had 14 walks this year before tonight. And I believe now, out of what we all just said, going against ourselves early on, Amerlin now leading the team with strikeouts. Because coming into tonight, it was actually Mark Torr that had 10. So Amerlin was just 1 behind. Now he's leading this team in strikeout tallies. So we do apologize. Reese Sherman will take the walk. There's another walk on the evening.
3rd walk of the game, 2 in the 1st inning, with Maddox Shaver and Cooper Saselski getting on board that way.
So Dom Giusti rounds out the batting order here, and then I'll go back to the top to see Eli Duncan again. And here's a guy that I think, probably want to get the bat going a little bit more. Coming in tonight, he's hitting 190. He's got 6 RBIs. He does have a home run, but yeah, his average is, I guess, just a little bit on the lower side. So Dom Giusti definitely someone that I think you can expect will come into his own as well with maybe the bat and the offense. We know he's got a great glove and a great arm out in center field. And again, these numbers that we're going off of, these are sample size numbers too. It's still very early on. Guys are still kind of getting situated here in Sylvan Lake and with this new club and gelling with these guys. So, it's really none of these numbers are, for some of them, are fair to really announce necessarily until we're really well into the season.
This is only the 14th game of the season.
Exactly. Sample size. So, these guys can still come into their own, come alive, and we could be talking about a completely different story in a week's time or 2 weeks' time. So 1-2 to Giusti. The juice man is what they like to call him down on the bench. See if he's got any juice to deliver here right now. So quick 2-game series against Fort McMurray this week. It'll be tonight, tomorrow night, of course, and then Brooks again for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. That team has seen Sylvan Lake the most out of all the teams in the league. And they have these two, and then they only have one more game. That's the makeup game from the rainout, and then they're done seeing each other for the rest of the year. So they're getting it all out of the way early, and Amerlin's getting rid of these batters pretty quickly as well as Juicy goes down swinging. So his 4th strikeout of the night, and a good recovery from him after walking Reese Sherman.
Yeah, he had a high curveball there to twist up Juicy there. Got strike 3 swinging over that one.
Eli Duncan now at the plate, and that goes over the head of Sauvé. So that'll get Sherman over to second.
Big smile and a chuckle there from Amerlin on the mound going, whoops.
That one
Not
slipped.
much you can do about that, but kind of a favorable bounce and pretty much went right to the catcher as he turned around.
Yeah,
like he
no
didn't
doubt.
really leave the dirt-colored area.
Good throw, clearly. I mean,
Yeah.
it had enough heat on it to come back to the plate. You got a lucky bounce. Sometimes it depends on where it lands, right? If it hits that screen, the screen absorbs that ball, and so you don't get that bounce back that we just saw. So luckily for Sauvé, I mean, he got that bounce back.
And from how high that pitch was, I assume it just nailed the board and came back. There's no ground involved to soften the first impact.
Yeah. Shouldn't have had that popcorn. So Eli Duncan up in the count, 2-0. Sherman over at second in scoring position. Two down. Sylvan Lake just looking to break open some scoring here on a 2-out rally. Amerlin trying to avoid another walk. And he comes in, finds the zone, 3-1. Eli Duncan, obviously, with the day off on Sunday. And he hits this hard to the shortstop. Tetreault makes the throw, and he's got the tag on him for out number 3. But the throw did come off the bag a little bit, but a good tag out by Brett Patillo to make the out number 3 play. And now the Giants will come to the bats here, the top of the third. Another runner stranded for Sylvan Lake.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Yo, Dustin, you need a goal?
Yes.
Can I join you guys? All right, let's go.
Whether it's on the ice or on our app, always play for the fun of the game. Gamble responsibly with Play Alberta.
Third inning for Bob on the mound. That is Noah Bourgeois. If you're wondering why we're calling him Bob, that's a nickname that he acquired ever since he came to Sylvan Lake. I'm not sure. I can't quite remember how he acquired that nickname. Maybe just because his last name's really hard to pronounce, so the boys just call him Bob. But regardless, Noah Bourgeois has had a pretty solid night to start so far. Giving up just the 2 hits, no runs. And he's had a couple strikeouts. 3, to be exact. A few.
Yeah. 2 that he's caught looking at. So a pretty good night to start for him.
Yeah. Let's bring up Carson Young, the third baseman for the Giants. One up high. Young hitting .250 so far. This is his 5th game that he's made as an appearance to, and he pops this straight up, and Eli Duncan waving everybody off to make the catch for out number 1.
Good job there by Eli Duncan to call off everyone to make sure that there's no collisions there, keeping everyone's safety in check and recording the out there. That's obviously the most important part.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's funny you say that. I know you weren't here on Sunday, but we saw that play happen at Sunday. It was in the right field, and the Bombers' defense did end up running into each other. But after it hit the tip of one of the guy's glove, it was actually him that still ended up making the catch on the second attempt. So it was an adventurous play. But, yeah, I mean, you know, on any given night, that can happen. Other guys can kind of come into the play, and that can make an easy out turn into a more difficult one. So good call out, and you got to make sure you're being vocal out there on the field at all times.
That's the one thing that's consistent. Doesn't matter what sport you play, communication is very important.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So Keita Fagino, who got on base to a walk last time, he saw a 4-pitch walk, got a stolen base, and he got all the way around to third, but never did score. He's the DH for the Giants, and he hits this pretty hard. Line drive into left field. What a catch made by Cooper Szyzelski. Welcome back into the field. Wow.
Is that Superman in left field there? No, that's Cooper Szyzelski.
Oh, that's Cooper Szyzelski.
Nice diving out there.
Great play there. And, you know, the great defensive plays that we saw on Sunday afternoon looking like they're carrying over here today. So that'll bring up Marcus Aracho.
Really helps speed up the game, really, and add some momentum when you're getting outs within a few pitches.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And you're getting highlight reel plays there. It gets the boys fired up. Everyone wants to just contribute to get that next out.
That's so far the play of the night. It's early, but
that could stay as the play of the night.
Stay.
That's a pretty solid catch.
I'm not going to lie. Just the way things were going when we pulled up into this ballpark with the wind and everything, I wasn't expecting things to be very, I guess, doable defensively for, you know, I just thought there would be a lot of challenges coming with the weather conditions today. And, I mean, Cooper Szyzelski tracked that down like it was a calm day.
But since we came here, the wind has come down quite a bit.
It has. It really has.
It was howling before, and now we can actually not really feel the wind coming into the booth here.
No, I know. When we got in here, I was saying, I was kind of being a baby about it. I was complaining how much wind was coming through the window. But this is popped straight up to Maddox Shaver having a beat on it, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So it's a 3-up, 3-down inning. All catches made, but this one the best one of them all. Cooper Szyzelski with the diving play in left field.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus the WCBL report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
It's been a common theme as of late in the WCPL. Cool, wet weather. Well, luckily it's not too wet right now, just more cool and windy here in Central Alberta. But there are 4 other games going on around the WCBL. Speaking of the league, Lethbridge hosting the Okotoks Dogs. Dogs up 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning up there. The Moose Jaw Miller Express find themselves tied with the Swift Current 57s, 1-1. And then Saskatoon in Regina with the Red Sox up 4-0, trying to kind of upset the Berries in that first place spot in the East. And then you got Medicine Hat in Weyburn with the Mavericks up 1-0 over the Beavers in the top of the 3rd. Here at Gulls Field, still looking for our first run of the game. It's scoreless heading into the bottom of the 3rd. And Sylvan Lake also not only looking for the first run, but they're looking for the first base hit. And this will bring up Maddox Shaver, who can maybe change that right now. Got on base with a walk, got all the way around to 3rd. Bases loaded back in the 1st, but then nothing to show for it.
This is the part of the lineup that really it's the whole lineup that can deal damage, but this is kind of the guts of it that can really get things going between Shaver, Marino, Siselski, and 2 of those guys are guys who have a little bit of defensive momentum here as well, getting in the last couple outs.
Yeah. Maddox Shaver, the one that retired that last inning with the pop-up. Fly ball catch. Ash Amerlin is, but also been kind of working himself into this game quite well, and he's got a few Ks already on the night. 4 to be exact. So already 3-0 as Maddox Shaver's going to be taken all the way on this one. And you were mentioning it too a little bit, earlier on in this game, looking down at the crowd, and you're kind of impressed with still how many faithful fans showed up here in this cool, windy weather. And that is a 4-pitch walk for Shaver as he gets on base for the 2nd straight time this evening.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to give them a shout out, the fans, for showing up. It's definitely not the nicest of nights, but you see the amount of toques and hoods up and layered up jackets. Everyone's prepared for it. Like, they're here because they want to watch some baseball.
It's almost a winter jacket kind of evening.
Yes.
There are quite a few thick jackets out there, and I don't blame the fans in the stands for dressing up as much as possible. I know we were complaining being in the booth and being cold, and these fans are definitely dedicated. So good for them.
But also to their credit, this is the driest it's kind of been for a few games. It hasn't.
Seriously.
It was raining a little bit pre-game, but like it's not actively raining now, which is one of the few elements that you don't want for a baseball game. And fans are taking advantage of that.
Absolutely. Well, the nicest weather we have seen for baseball here at Gulls Field was this past weekend. Sunday was a gorgeous day. Saturday night was a great evening as well. So really, out of all the home games that we have had already, I think we can say we've had 2 that were actually enjoyable for fans to be part of.
Opening weekend, maybe?
And maybe, yes, opening.
Which was
quite
a while ago now.
Yeah, that was a little while ago already. Crazy to think we're already near the end of June. Time flies when you're having fun and you're playing baseball. Summer's always better at the ballpark, as the motto and catch of the league saying is this year. So Joey Marino, the DH, 6 straight pitches that are balls for Amerlin to start this inning. His pitch is over 50 now, 51 pitches on the evening.
And he's a guy who likes to take his time pitching.
Yes.
He's not in any hurry, which is totally fine. But the pace of play when he's on the mound drops a little bit, especially after the last inning we had of, maybe not even 10 pitches?
Yeah. You get Noah Bourgeois up there, and when he's done his work, he's got to go sit down and warm up for
Yeah.
a while before he can come back in. So another walk. And that's kind of been a little bit of the storyline so far for Ash Amerlin is if he's not striking guys out, he's walking them.
Yeah, that's the 5th walk of the night. And that's pretty much as many strikeouts as he has to. He's got 4 strikeouts, so pretty much even on that one.
There's only been 2 groundouts.
Yeah.
The rest have been all walks or strikeouts. An error. There's 1 error too, but yeah.
Yeah. But if you're him, you'd like to throw at least 1 strike this inning because he has yet to do that with the 2 batters he's faced.
And that'll bring up a heavy bat, like you mentioned, Cooper Szyzelski, who's still looking to kind of maybe get the bat rolling. We know he's got it in him. We know it's in the, in the bag. It's just he needs 1 here to really get the ball rolling in the right direction for him to start off this summer. See if he can do it here with 2 base runners on. And after making a really great grab in left field, you like you were mentioning, see that momentum transfer from defense to offense. See if he, can carry that into his at-bat now.
Confidence has got to be getting a little bit higher after that last catch that he made. So see if, kind of like in hockey, after you score a goal, you kind of get the goal legs and just want to get that next one. But also at the same time, when you've seen 10 balls in a row, you got to wait for that opportunity to come to even swing at one.
Oh, and yeah, and if you're Szyzelski or any of the batters coming up, you're waiting until this guy hits the strike zone. Like, you're probably not even swinging at this one. Unless it's right down the middle, it's your pitch. But yeah, I mean, Amerlin's really struggling right now. We have some warm-ups going on in the bullpen now. That might be kind of speeding the process on a little bit for Fort Mac, and that looks like it's going to be Eli McKean getting loose, the Calgary, Alberta native. So 11 straight balls by Ash Amerlin. Looking not to walk and load the bases here. And he will. Wow. 3 straight batters this inning, 3 straight walks, all balls, and then he sends a little kiss to the dugout. He's kind of chirping with the Sylvan Lake Gulls bench right now. I am keeping an eye on this, and he's got some words for the Gulls bench. I mean, I saw that he was blowing a kiss to them right before the coach came out, and I think coach is probably just trying to get him back in, and we got it on camera here. Let's take a look at this. Watch this. He's walking down. He's got some words, and then he blows the little kiss towards the Gulls bench. So
it's an odd time that you see it, but at the same time, you kind of saw the catcher in the background have a little smirk smile on his face. But again, this is also just kids having fun out there too.
It is. But this is a moment where he's got to now just block out the noise.
Yes.
And he's got a bases loaded situation for Charlie Collins. And Collins has been in this situation already tonight.
Mm-hmm. He has.
And Amerlin struck him out. And it's another ball.
And the dugout is on him.
Gulls dugout is making a pretty good amount of noise right now. Yeah.
It's only going to escalate from here until he throws a strike.
And that's got to be tough, too. Once it's in your head, it's hard to get out. And it's another ball.
You could kind of hear the dugout. They were kind of, that was a close one.
And you could see them. Look how fired up the boys on them. They're all smiling and laughing.
They're just waiting to make sure they weren't punked there by the umpire and getting a little ahead of themselves. Nope, that's 14 in a row.
And I was watching Marcus Arocho over at second, and his hands were up thinking that was a strike. And it's another ball. One more ball away from Amerlin. I have not seen a pitcher struggle this much.
No.
This many times in a row like this, honestly. You feel for him.
Oh, yeah.
That is now 15 straight balls without one strike pitch. Make that 16, and that is going to be the first run to score this ball game. Wow.
File that under the things you don't see very often category. 16 straight balls. You go from a new inning to having a 1-run cashed in and no outs.
That's a tough way to finish it for Ash Amerlin, and I think that's going to be his night now. So they're going to get a new pitcher coming into this ball game.
And he's going to have potentially upwards of 3 more runs that could go on the books for him as well.
And he had more exchanges for the Gulls dugout.
Oh, yeah.
And he even
flipping the
flipped the bird there. So anyway, we'll step aside. We'll be back with more Gulls baseball on FloCollege. All right, new pitcher on the mound, Eli McKean from Calgary, Alberta, coming in exchange for Ash Amerlin. And after the Gulls have now gotten on base due to all walks, 4 walks in a row, 16 straight balls by Amerlin. Eli McKean looking to find the strike zone and get out of this hole that the Giants have found themselves in. Coleman Perry at the dish with the bases loaded situation. He struck out his last at bat, and it was one that he watched go by.
We see our first strike of the inning there with that swing and a miss.
Yeah. It was a good off-speed pitch, too, by McKean. That one gets in the turf, and probably a good take there by Tylen Graves. Thought about it, but it didn't get too far away from Sylvan. As Graves wanted to, he thought about it, but a good recovery by Sylvan, pretty quick, and it backed everybody up. So 1-1. Tylen Graves on deck, then Reese Sherman. And that's on the outside by quite a ways. 2-1. And Perry just hits this foul. Otherwise, that would have at least scored 2. It might have even scored 3.
Yeah, Marino had to jump out of the way of that one to make sure, A, that he didn't get hit, and B, to see if it was going to stay fair, and it didn't.
Close call.
But yeah, Perry was turning on that one. Looking to cash in a few more runs here in this third inning. Looking to break the game open.
Eli McKean coming into today. He has pitched just over 4 innings. He's got a 3.86 ERA. He's got 3 strikeouts. He's given up 2 earned runs. So Perry with a full count. Eli McKean has his ball swung on hard, hit left field, going all the way back. It's going to be caught, but that will end up driving in a run as Cooper Szyzelski gets over to third safely. So a sacrifice flyout, RBI by Coleman Perry, and a good catch made by the center fielder, Diesel Santiago.
Yeah, good. Productive out there for Coleman Perry to cash in another run. A nice deep ball to center left field. And now Graves is going to have a chance to get his name on the board here. Runners both in scoring position still. First base open, 1 away.
The grave digger may be looking to dig a grave. Can he do it with the bat? So still the Gulls looking for their first hit. Up 2-0 now over the Giants. And there's a nice off speed coming down the middle for a called strike. Gulls still pressing here in this bottom half of the third inning. I don't know who's whistling, but someone's got a really loud whistle on them.
That is quite impressive.
That's echoing, and this is hit. Line drive to left field, off the tip of the glove. It's going to stay in. It's going to go for extra bases. 2 runs coming to score. And Tylen Graves will make his way to second. And a hard hit ball adds on to this lead.
Yeah, that one was hit hard, and this is a game of inches. Kind of goes off the top of the glove, it looked like, just based on where it went. And you definitely feel for Arwen Burgos out in left field, as you could taste that out, and it was looking to kind of maybe run and gun, maybe try to get a second one out at home and get out of the inning, but none of that happens, and 2 runs come in thanks to that one, and it's going to be scored in error as well.
Yeah, and that's questionable. You know, it's a hard hit ball. Could the left fielder made that catch?
But going in the football terminology, if you can touch it, you can catch it.
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
went off his glove.
So it's not going to be considered a. So the Gulls still looking for their first hit. Yeah. But 4-0, they will lead it here against the Giants. Reese Sherman at the plate. The Gonzaga University product, Meade, Washington.
Well, that officially closes the books on Ash Amerlin's night, as though those were his runners that he put out there. So those are 4 runs. I guess a couple of them technically might not be earned, but they all cash in.
Yep. That was definitely, I mean, obviously good takes by the Gulls. And here's a good hit by Reese Sherman down the line. That's going to score a run as well. And that will be the first base hit of the ball game for Sylvan Lake. A RBI double for Reese Sherman.
Great piece of hitting there, right down that left field line, and just bounces right near the third base, and the third baseman there and Carson Young just couldn't quite dive and get there in time, and it rolls all the way to the outfield and just about near the warning track by the time it got picked up. So a nice stand-up double for Reese Sherman to cash in, and we're up to 5 runs now in this inning.
Yeah, 5 runs, still only 1 down right now. And Dom Giusti at the plate. And Giusti cuts under this pretty good, but it goes up high. It's in foul territory. It's playable. And it's a good catch made by Carson Young, the third baseman.
Yeah, that ball was carrying over a little bit. The wind was trying to push it more and more towards the Gulls dugout, but it ends up dying kind of in that dirt-colored area. It's still turf out there in the infield, right in front of their dugout.
So Eli Duncan at the plate now. He's 0 for 2. We grounded out to the pitcher, who Amerlin made a really good play on him. And then it was the shortstop the next time out, Miguel Tetro.
The only batter that hasn't gone up this inning.
Yeah.
And now he has.
And yeah, so the Gulls have batted around the order successfully. It's been a long inning. As long as somebody gets a beat on it, and it looks like the catcher will. A good catch made by Nick Sauve. And finally, the Gulls get out of this inning, but not before a bunch of walks and 5 runs come in to score for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. There's a lot of them that cross the plate, and Reese Sherman added that little bit of insurance at the end to make it 5-0. Been a pretty lengthy wait for this guy to get back on the mound. Bob again on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. 4th inning, the Gulls lead it 5-0. And it's looking like the hits too are still 2-1 favoring the Giants. But you can see the wind still blowing pretty good out there on the old uniform of Bob on the mound. Noah Bourgeois, for those just watching. If you're wondering why I'm just calling him by Bob, well, you're just tuning in now, you missed a lot. Great to have you tune in, by the way, folks. Wherever you're watching from, you're watching Gulls Baseball and FloCollege, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. Scott Stimson, Cale Clark here with you. Happy to have you watching in. It's probably a little bit more cozier to watch from the comfort of your own home than it is here at the ballpark on a day like today. Nick Sauve is at the plate, and he's the number 3 batter. Number 3, 4, 5 scheduled to come up. Brett Patillo and Braden Dick.
Hopefully you're lucky enough to be watching with the AC on full blast at home, because that's what it feels like here. Just not in a good way. Where
the natural AC.
Yeah. A little chilly here.
And this is a one-hopper. Nice little grab there by Graves, and a grave digger move from shortstop yet again.
Yeah, nice little picks for both sides. First it was Graves flashing the leather there, a little one-hopper, and then sends a one-hopper over to Coleman Perry, who good glove work there to swipe it and record the out at first.
Are they going for the flashiest catch
Is this banana ball?
Yeah. Both were pretty flashy. Even Coleman Perry's got a little bit of a smile on his face right now. Brett Patillo now at the plate, and he hits this also to Tyler Graves. See what Graves has, and it's going to be another one-hopper to Coleman Perry, who makes it look easy. Wow. Perry, you know, he makes those look just so effortless, doesn't he? I mean,
well, you look at the Gazelle who's gliding over there, and Graves making that look easy. And then, like you said, Perry just picking another one up out of the dirt and hit the Staples button. That was easy.
Yeah, back-to-back 6-3 plays. All right. And I like how I'm watching them right now. They're still communicating between the two right now. Perry's got words for Graves. Graves is saying something to him, so not sure if it's sorry, I'll try to get it in your glove next time on the first attempt, not have it bounce twice in a row. But again, that's a tough play for Graves to make on the move, you know, throwing across his body away from the base.
He just makes it look so smooth, though.
He does.
Like,
he
he's
really
just
does.
gliding out there.
Yeah, it's fun to watch these guys connect. You know, if you've never seen WCBL baseball before, well, it's good ball. These guys can play. Good collegiate summer ball. This popped right behind us and heads up. I love when it goes into the crowd and you always hear a, oh, like, you know.
That was closer than I was expecting.
Yeah, like it's like a, oh, I guess balls can come over and hit us.
Yeah.
Nothing will beat the 1-0 that I heard one year when there was a baby carriage down by
oh no,
the Giants dugout. This is hit right up the middle. Line drive that's going to land in for the third base hit of the game for the Giants. So the inning stays alive thanks to a hit from Braden Dick. But there was a baby carriage just behind the away dugout, and of course the pop fly comes up, goes over, and everybody's like, that whoa was a gasp. He's like, and then luckily Mom was holding the baby right beside it. So the baby was not in there. And then a little kid comes up to the baby carriage, goes in, grabs the ball, and runs away. But yeah, that was the probably scariest, most freakiest foul ball we've seen at Gulls Field that I can remember. Not knowing that there was no baby in there originally. It kind of was like a little bit of a weird prank in a way. But nobody was hurt, and I've yet to see anybody get seriously hurt, knock on wood, from a foul ball here at Gulls Field. So let's hope that continues. Adizal Santiago with the base hit back in that second inning, looking to keep this two-out rally alive. It's a 1-1 count to him. Just 2 errors so far, and that's to the Giants. The Gulls, seen a double play already, seen a diving catch out in left field. And then, of course, the hot arm from the shortstop. And great gloves from both shortstop and first baseman.
Yes.
Coleman Perry.
And the back-to-back plays there. Back-to-back pitches as well.
In case you're, I don't know, maybe you're picking it up on the TV, but you can maybe hear a little bit of that wind coming through. That's because the wind is coming through our windows here in the broadcast booth. It's catching the mic. It's not, I promise you, it's not me or my broadcast partner breathing heavily.
It's not from us eating hot dogs.
It's not from the meat sweats. I hope. I mean, if it is,
give us a few more innings.
Yeah, give us, yeah. No promises. You might be hearing the wind start to pick up more. And there is the strikeout for Noah Bourgeois to end this inning. Only the 1 hit given up, but no runs scored. And Noah Bourgeois does what Noah Bourgeois does best, and that is strike out batters. Eli McKean coming in for his first full inning of work after coming in to replace Ash Amerlin back in that lengthy third inning. Obviously, Giants looking for a quicker inning here and a quicker outing. Maddox Shaver will start things off. Joey Marino and Cooper Cizelski are the scheduled batters. Shaver so far 2 for 2 at getting on base, but he's still he's walked both times, and he's hit this pretty high, and the wind's kind of got it a little bit, but settling underneath of it is Arwen Burgos making the catch for out number 1.
Maybe we're going to catch up on some efficiency here with the different pitching that we've seen. We've seen a lot of balls thrown earlier in the game and quite a bit of time taken to deliver pitches, and now first pitch, first out.
Yeah. And just to give you folks at home a perspective, maybe what the wind is doing, the wind is kind of moving from the west to the east. So on your screen right now, how you're looking at it from behind the pitcher, it is moving from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. So favors batters kind of like this in a way, if you can turn on it. It is still in the face, though, quite a bit, too. So it's going to be a lot to get one to go far and deep anywhere. And you can see, from right here, right to left, it's
blowing in from right field.
It's blowing in from the right field and kind of in. So makes for a hard day on the batters, a little bit of a tricky day on the fielders. But I'm sure if you're Maddox Shaver, you're just happy that you're finally able to swing on one. With back-to-back walks. I don't even think he had one that was kind of strike zone worthy in his first 2 at-bats. So Marino quickly up in the count, 3-1. Ball swung on foul. And it never fails. Every foul ball, there's always at least 1, 2, maybe 3 kids on the chase after it, no matter where it goes.
That's got to be the highlight for a kid coming to the ballpark. A chance to get a ball.
And it's a strikeout to Marino. So quickly 2 up, 2 down for Eli McKean and the Fort McMurray Giants. Great pitch there. Has one breaking away.
Once those runners came off the board there, that all those walks that were issued out by Amerlin, he started to pick up the pace and dial things in, and now that he had a clean slate to start the inning, we're seeing kind of that continue over.
Yeah. Well, we were looking at it earlier. We were looking at leaders in the league and guys that have gotten on base and all that kind of stuff. And the leading walk batter would be Connor Croson. There's a lot of Okotoks dogs that are among the top leaders. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the top 6 lead the league in walks.
And 5 of the top 10, if you want to expand the board.
There you go. This is hit up right the middle, and that's going to land in for a base hit for Cooper Cizelski. So there's Cooper Cizelski's first hit of the summer this year.
That's kind of hard to believe with how much he's gotten on base as well. He's just been issued quite a few walks.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of walks. But finally, he gets credited for his first base hit. Welcome back, Cooper. That'll bring up Charlie Collins, and that's got to feel good for Cooper. I mean, it's just a monkey off the back kind of scenario. You know, and now you can watch. Now you can just kind of keep an eye on him, and it's going to be interesting to see what that does for him moving forward and how his bat starts to pick up here as the season goes on. Collins already with a RBI in this game, and he hits this pretty hard. Line drive to center field, but good play there by Diesel Santiago playing in a little bit, only had to take a few steps to his right, making the catch, and just like that, only one base hit, one runner, 0 runs scored, and the Giants back to the plate. New pitcher on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. It's going to be number 39, Trent Chavez. But a second consecutive game that the Sylvan Lake Gulls got good pitching to start out this ball game, and it was Noah Bourgeois this time around. Came in and he had 4 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, only giving up the 3 hits and 0 runs. So a really good outing for Noah Bourgeois and this starting pitcher.
Yeah, very solid night for Bourgeois. 15 batters faced, and he had 57 pitches, so pretty efficient night for him as well in that department. So a good start for the Gulls. They're up with a 5-0 lead, thanks partially to his pitching tonight. And he'll hand it over to the bullpen to take care of the rest of the game.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Sylvan Lake did on Sunday. I mean, they got 6 innings of work from their starter back on Sunday that then would turn into just needing 2 arms that whole afternoon to carry out a 4-0 win. It was Bryson Leach that started Sunday, and then he had, of course, Seth Mahler coming in to finish out that ball game. So Trent Chavez, first strike, 1-1, and he's going to face Miguel Tetro, Arwin Burgos, and Carson Young. Chavez with already 4 innings of work this season, and this is hit hard, deep right field, but the wind might have held it up just enough, and it did, for Charlie Collins to come away with it. And there is where you might thank Mother Nature a little bit, being on your side.
No kidding. The sound that bat made, it sounded like that should be gone.
That
and it was carrying and carrying, but it stayed in.
That was barreled.
Yes.
That was a barreled ball, and it just got caught up in that air and just died.
Like watching the ball just keep going, and then you look at Charlie Collins, and he barely moved. Like he knew what was coming to him.
Yeah, and this is hit on the ground deep in the hole, and it's going to get past Shaver and be another base hit for Fort McMurray. So, I mean, I think that's kind of the play if you're going to have any luck and success with the bats, is hitting it in the gaps and hitting it on the ground, because anything up in the air might not go in your favor. So Arwin Burgos will give the Giants their 4th base hit of the ball game.
Kind of need those hard hits, whether they're liners or grounders, basically, to get people on the base paths. You might get lucky with one lingering in the air, just with it carrying somewhere, just messing up a catch. But I think you might be onto something there with just keeping the balls down and in play.
That's only the 4th hit Chavez has given up this season. He's coming into the game with a 2.25 ERA. He's got 6 strikeouts credited to his name in his 4 innings of work. Only given up, like I said, now 4 hits. It's 1-0 with the Gulls, and that throw down to Perry just to keep Burgos in check. Carson Young, the number 9 batter, flew up right to the third baseman last at bat, and he flies it up here with a pop fly right to Coleman Perry, and Perry makes no mistake for out number 2.
Been a lot of pop flies in the last inning or two, really, between both sides of the plate for both teams.
Yeah.
And it's kind of all over the map. Seen it left field, center field, right field, first base, shortstop, third base side foul territory.
Well, that's number 4 between the two teams this inning. That brings up Kita Fugino. And Fugino, that was that last time at bat was when Cooper Szyzelski made the diving catch.
That was a beauty.
On him. Robbed him from a base hit. And Cooper Szyzelski, you know, good to see him having a little bit of a night, getting that big catch we talked about. Okay, what's that defensive play going to do for his, you know, maybe his offense? Well, now he gets the monkey off the back too, and he's got his first base hit as a Sylvan Lake Gull this summer. So it's good stuff to see him back getting in the swing of things. Not really pun intended, but, you know, pun intended. Can
Partially.
Partially intended. But it's great to see him back. 2-0 to Fugino, and ball swung on. It is going all the way back to right field, and Charlie Collins gets on his horse and gets there in time for out number 3. You know, he was playing quite shallow, and he had to run a long ways to get there, but he made the play nonetheless. And the Sylvan Lake Gulls just giving up the 1 base hit, no runs scored, with a 5-0 lead heading to the bottom of 5 when we come back. You're watching Gulls Baseball. Fort McMurray down 5-0 against the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and we're going to just now try to direct your attention to Friday night, which is going to be vintage baseball night. You can hear the sounds and everything like that here tonight, but things are going to go a little bit differently on Friday. No music, no promotions or advertising or anything like that. It's going to be just nothing but true baseball sounds, and that is it. No,
baseball in its purest form.
Baseball in its purest form, exactly. So get your tickets today at sylvanlakegulls.com. The Gulls will welcome the Brooks Bombers for yet another evening here at Gulls Field. That will go foul off the bat of Coleman Perry. So Eli McKean again on the mound. This is his second full inning of work, and he did a pretty good job his last time up, as he had a strikeout and only saw 4 batters, giving up the 1 hit. Perry drills this right to the third baseman. Carson Young fields it and makes the throw. And just hanging on to the bag was Brett Patillo. But a good grab at third by Young.
Perry barreled that one over to third base, but a nice job there for Young to grab hold of that, settle things down, and then zip it over to first base in time. And like you said, Patillo, good job to hold the bag there to make sure he gets that.
Because we've seen a couple of those plays tonight from Fort McMurray where the throw is not on. And Eli McKean not happy with that last pitch. He thought he had Tylen Graves. Again, Graves got in on base back in the third with an error, but that error ended up having 2 runs coming to score. Went right off the tip of Arwen Burgo's glove. So 3-0 to Graves.
That inning was off like a bucket of prawns in the sun there.
Please tell all the viewers back home where you're getting this from, or what that is, because it's not anything we're used to hearing.
It's not straight off the dome for me, but nothing like some Aussie slangs and little catchphrases there. There's nothing like it.
And that's that's with baseball, so that's baseball.
No,
slang?
that's just in general.
That's just general. Okay, you're just tying it in with the baseball.
I am.
Okay, I love it. Tylen Graves will see his 5th pitch for a 4th ball, so he will head down to first base. And Fort McMurray going back to the bullpen. Nate Mountjoy warming up from Strathmore, Alberta. Goes to Garden City Community College. He's getting loose. Could be getting himself ready to come into this game pretty soon.
But more so the reason why I went off on that tangent was more so because of Charlie Collins, what he was doing out in right field.
Yeah.
He was flat out like a lizard drinking.
My goodness.
It's extremely busy for anyone who's not Australian like me.
Like most people watching. Yeah. I bet his family's getting a kick out of it right now. Reeve Sherman.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Hopefully they're watching. That would suck if not. Reeve Sherman at the plate. 1-1. But yes, Charlie Collins, obviously some great defensive work in the outfield now. That's a couple games in a row where he's had to make some pretty big catches.
And with the wind out there, neither of those were easy. And
no.
If you take the wind out, that's probably 2 home runs.
It could very well, 1 for sure anyways, yeah. And the second one right at the wall. It was wild. I mean, just that ball, it looked like it was going to go a long ways, and then you just saw it just start to drop down. You're like, oh, that got caught up big time.
And also the speed of Collins, because he got there and stood under it. Like
Yeah.
It was not like he was diving out there to catch up.
It's almost like he floats underneath of those balls. I mean, saw that on Sunday too. Sherman lines this right to the third baseman. The play over to second does not quite connect at first, but they do get the 1 out. As Carson Young had a little bit of troubles, originally with this ball. It kind of bobbled it for a second, but still made the play and over to second. And I think that's why Mark Sriracho may have threw a little off target, because he felt like he had to rush it after seeing Carson bobble it a little bit.
But definitely got a little bit of help there from the netting kind of behind the dugout to the side of the dugout. Kept the ball in play, so there wasn't extra bases to take there for Reese Sherman.
Yeah. So that'll bring up Dom Giusti 0 for 2 on the evening. Giusti pops this over our heads. Foul 1 and 2. So could be the last inning of work for Eli McKean, as We mentioned there's some action in the bullpen going on in the Giants side.
Quite a few pitches for him, but when you look at what he has done since he's entered the game, he's done pretty well.
Yeah, he has. He's kind of held the fort, limited the damage as best as he could.
Yes.
And Juicy's just fighting this off right now. Elk Grove, California kid, Whitworth University. Talk about how flashy those cleats are down at the field. They definitely pop.
Certainly do.
I'm a fan.
Oh, yeah.
And Juicy lifts this into shallow center left field. And that's going to be caught all the way by the second baseman. Marcus Aracho comes in and retires the side. So no hits on that play. And the Gulls will take to the field for the top of the sixth when we come back. Vancouver, British Columbia product now on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Dylan Meitner will step into this game, and Dylan has already seen a few games, but I think this is the first time we've seen him come in a little bit into the game. He started a couple already for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, but this is kind of the first time this season we've seen him come in as a reliever. So we'll see what he can do, as he's got 5 innings of work already under his belt, and by a couple times, I mean that's including the preseason games. So he's only got 1 regular season start so far this year. And first pitch swinging to center field. That gets, again, caught up in that wind, and it'll be a easy play for Dom Juicy to make the catch.
Yeah, those balls are just lingering up in the air. They're just floating, and staying in the park, and that's helped especially the Gulls outfielders be able to run back and get their feet underneath them and make the what looks like an easy catch in the outfield. Last inning it was over in right field with Charlie Collins going to work.
Meitner with 3 strikeouts so far. And he's given up 9 hits, 7 runs.
Quickly ahead 0-2 on Nick Sauvé.
So this is a game for, Meitner to maybe improve his numbers a little bit. Again, like we talk about it, all sample size, especially for pitchers, it's hard to, get right number, like credited numbers the right way early on in a season because it's so early on. So I think this is one of those games where he can improve those numbers with only 5 innings of work in the regular season.
Yeah, one bad outing can really linger on the numbers and stats there for a little bit, even though it might not reflect your last 4 games or so.
Yeah. And this is hit hard, and it's a good catch by Eli Duncan over at third. A line drive scooped up before it falls, and a great play again defensively by the Sylvan Lake Gulls.
Right place at the right time there for Eli Duncan, as he just had to kind of dive over to his right side and record the out. Good piece of athleticism there for him, as he can play in a couple positions for the Gulls here.
That was a snag. Brett Patillo now 0 for 2, grounded out to the Gravedigger last time at bat, and then struck out in the first. We already got some fame by that nickname, by the way, on Sylvan Lake Gulls Twitter, or X, I should say. Already put a post out there saying, new nickname. Broadcasters came up for Thailand. What do you think? They're getting the fans' input. Whether they like it or not, I think we're sticking with it.
Oh, yeah.
We like it. I'm sure there's going to be a few others that might catch on with. Guy could get his own shirt made, as this is fouled off down the first baseline.
When the MLB used to do the Players Weekend, I don't know if they consistently did it for a few years, but there's one time for that Players Weekend that players had nicknames on their jerseys.
Okay.
And there's a few interesting ones, but they also did emojis.
Oh, interesting.
There's one pitcher, his last name was Boxburger, so you can figure out what his 2 emojis were. It was literally a box and a burger.
Yeah, fair.
I feel like that would be interesting to obviously, they don't have the name bars on here, but similar kind of thing. Call them by their nicknames for a game.
That's awesome.
You got vintage baseball. What about new school baseball?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that would be pretty neat. That's a walk. First walk given up by Meitner in his third batter that he faces as Patillo goes down to first. That'll bring up Braden Dick, 1 for 2 on the night. And Meitner has come in, and that's his 6th walk on the season. But yeah, it's always fun to kind of get to know these guys on a personal level, and the nicknames they come up with for each other in that dressing room, the locker room. And I actually had the pleasure of having Meitner and Reese up here one night. I think this past weekend, actually. It was on Saturday night. They were up here visiting me, and it was kind of funny. I asked them, who's kind of the character, the funny guy in the dressing room, and they didn't really have an answer because we're still trying to get to know these guys.
That's fair.
We're still getting to know everybody, and so it's one of those things where it was the same thing last year, exactly the same time of year, where it was end of June, it was June 22nd or so, when Sylvan Lake went on their long Saskatchewan road trip. Well, you look at the schedule this year.
Next week.
They go on the 23rd on that long Saskatchewan road trip. So
that's a lot of bonding time.
That's where you get a lot of that bonding, exactly, right? A lot of that time together. So I'm sure I asked that question when they get back. There'll be more stories. They'll actually have answers for that kind of stuff because they get to know everybody. And let's take a look at that schedule. I mean, they got, again, Fort Mac again here tomorrow. Then they go to Brooks on 18th. They're in Sylvan. It's technically a road game against the Bombers on the 19th. And then they're here for a pair of games against Lethbridge. But before they go on that long road trip that we were just talking about. So there's a swing and a miss and a throw down to Perry, and he'll touch up just to make sure. But that is the first strikeout of the night for Meitner. And out number 3. So just the one walk, no hits, no runs. Gulls 5-0. The Giants send out the Strathmore, Alberta native onto the mound now. Number 9, Nate Mountjoy, the right-handed pitcher from Garden City Community College, is where he plays in the wintertime. And he'll face, back at the top of the batting order, Eli Duncan. For the bottom of the 6th inning, Gulls up 5-0 over the Giants. Duncan from Redwood City, California, Hutchinson Community College. A dark, gloomy evening over at Gulls Field and windy, but luckily, Scott, the rain has, for the most part, stayed away.
Yeah, there's a couple raindrops as we were kind of pulling into the park, and haven't really seen anything since. And the clouds kind of broke up before the game, and you can see a little bit of clouds lingering in the background and a touch of blue sky. That's the most, well, we haven't really seen it since this morning, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a kind of a rainy, cloudy day all day here in Central Alberta. And that is going to be a fair ball for Eli Duncan right down the line, extra bases. And he's asking for a time as that ball must have snuck out and underneath the fence.
Might just be
or
stuck
wedged,
under, or
maybe wedged underneath. It might have snuck underneath. I'm not sure. That's right under the Joe's Optimum Equipment Solutions banner. And we take a look at this, and it just stays fair, just perfectly placed down the line. Of course, Duncan going to, and then as he's getting close to the second base, left fielder Arwen Burgos says, I can't get the ball. It snuck out of here. So that'll bring up Maddox Shaver. A good stand-up double, regardless, though, for Duncan. And Gulls with their 3rd hit on the night. Maddox Shaver, 0 for 1. Reached base with a couple walks. Nate Mountjoy steps off, kind of resets. Duncan was playing a little cat and mouse game over at second with him. Keeping a close eye on him. It might be enough to kind of get in a pitcher's head a little bit, as those 2 straight balls.
He's really slowed himself down, too, on the mound. He's really taking his time, thinking things over. Obviously doesn't want to get his signs crossed up or stolen over at second base either.
Does he remind you of somebody by chance?
Someone we saw earlier in the game?
Yeah, someone we may have seen earlier in the game.
Well, currently with 3 balls pitched in a row, there's kind of some flashbacks.
Belleville, Ontario native Maddox Shaver at the plate, 3-0. I'm sure he'll be taken all the way here. And that catches the corner. 3-1. Nice buzz in the crowd on a cool Tuesday night. It's awesome to see that, you know, so many fans still make their way out for these games. I mean, it is Toonie Dog night, so why wouldn't you, all right? You at least have some dogs to warm you up.
Might be time to put in another order.
Hey, we might need to do that. I mean, bottom 6, I could down 1 more. 2 already. Those folks look chilly.
Yeah. Nice blankets, though.
Oh, gorgeous blankets. Homemade? Maybe? Those are nice. I like it. Yeah, I like it. Full count to Maddox Shaver, runner at second. 0 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Shaver lifts this in the hole. This will drive in a run. And the Sylvan Lake Gulls go up 6-0. Maddox Shaver finally finding one in the hole.
Yeah, nice little single for an RBI, drive in the runner from second and just right up the middle. We've seen a few hits there for both teams tonight going right by that second base, and a good job there for Shaver to cash in and keep that hot bat alive.
Well, like I said, he's one of those players that so far this summer has not been quiet many nights in a row, and he's only had one night. And now we got a pinch hitter here, and this is going to be Gavin Galenza coming into the ball game in for Joey Marino. So good to see him in the ball game. Looking to do some damage with that bat. Gavin Galenza from Camrose, Alberta.
Not too far away.
Not far at all. University of Alabama. Great kid. I mean, he's been here for a few years now. And he has a good take there, checking that swing. He's a competitor. He loves to play this game, and he's a good catcher as well. And, you know, that's the thing with Gavin. Unfortunately for him, he hasn't had a lot of time behind the plate with guys like Sherman and Duncan coming in. But, you know, that's great to see. You got all that depth there, too. And you can put any of these guys in on any given moment. This is lifted into foul territory that should drop, and it will. A little bit of a sigh of relief for Gavin, I'm sure, on that one. 1-2 the count. Galenza's just had 2 games under his belt this summer. This is his 6th at-bat. And he's already got a double. And they're sending Maddox Shaver over to second, who will hang on, and it's an uncontested stolen base.
Yeah, the Giants just kind of eating that one, not wanting to give them a free third base or anything if they're not quite prepared to do it. So just easy to eat that one and let them get the second.
Yeah, 0 down, another runner in scoring position. This is a really good situation for Galenza, and the rest of the batting order are set to come up. As Cooper Zazelski is on deck. And that's inside. Good take again by Galenza. Full count. And it's a walk for Gavin Galenza. Works his set well way back into the count. Words are hard sometimes, folks. Sorry about that. I struggled there. But he was down 1-2, and he works himself back to a full count and then takes a walk.
Yeah, good piece of watching there for Gavin Galenza. Productive at-bat for the Gulls. Able to have runners on first and second now for Saselski.
Saselski 1 for 1. And in all 3 plate appearances has reached base. Finally getting the monkey off the back. His last at bat in that 4th inning. See if he can keep it going. Hits are now dead even at 4 aside. Gulls up 6-0 if you're just joining us now on Gulls Baseball right here on FloCollege, brought to you by Visit Sylvan Lake. Scott Stimson is up here in the broadcast booth. I'm K.O. Clark. Great to have you watching along. Hope wherever you're watching from, as we mentioned earlier, it's warmer. It's a lot nicer than it is here. Starting temperature of this ball game was about 11 degrees Celsius, and
with some wind chill.
With the winds at about averaging around 30 kilometers an hour. One and two to Siselski. And if you didn't bring a blanket, you're probably regretting your decisions in the crowd. But these girls and most people in attendance definitely thought about it and were smart to bring one. 1 and 2 to Siselski. And he goes down swinging. Strikeout for out number 1. As Nate Mountjoy gets his first strikeout and first out of this inning since coming in.
Pitch that was going towards the outside corner, and Siselski chases after it.
All right, here is the Aussie from Melbourne, Australia. Charlie Collins 0 for 2 with an RBI. And they're going to send the runner, and he's safe. So a good stolen base. The second one for Maddox Shaver in this inning. He stole second, and then he steals third. And a great take there. A good job to, good leadoff. Got a great lead there.
Yeah, and he had a good jump there, and helps having that right-hand hitter in the box as well. The catcher has to step around him because he doesn't want to drill him in the head trying to throw over to third. Kind of buys you some space.
And this ball hit high and deep left center field on the run, and it's caught. Good catch there by Diesel Santiago, but if it wasn't for the base stealing and base running by Maddox Shaver, there would be no run scored. But instead, it's a sacrifice fly out for a run to come in. And that's a great catch by Santiago on the backhand. Really had to stretch out for it. That
long ways to run, too.
That was absolutely great hit there by Charlie Collins, but
got it deep enough to make it a productive out and make it a 7-0 game now.
Gavin Glantz is still over at first. Coleman Perry now at the plate. And Perry's 0 for 3 with an RBI.
They checked in over at second base. The Giants did. I'm not entirely sure why, considering the runner's back at first. And that second base had been stolen, so there was no one there.
Yeah.
There's some confusion going on the field and then in my head as well.
Yeah, I don't know what the second base would really do. That wasn't occupied when that last ball was hit. Anyway, that's what that little bit of disruption of the play was. Coach came out to chat with Jeff Chipley, who's over at first base. And off speed comes in. Perry fouls it back. So these teams will redo it again here tomorrow night at Gulls Field. Obviously, I think everybody, including the players and the umpires, is hoping for maybe a little bit of a nicer evening. But the weather just not looking so favorable for any of the WCBL games set to take place this week.
No, it looked like Friday might be the best day of the week.
All right.
Like 20 degrees and some sunshine.
For a vintage baseball night here at the ballpark. So.
And then the moisture returns after that.
No, go figure.
We'll see what Saturday has in store for us.
Jeez. And that one painting down low for a strike. 2-2. 2 away. Coleman Perry at the plate. Gulls adding 2 more runs this inning, now up 7-0 over Fort McMurray. Mountjoy looking to just get out of this inning.
Good patience there from Perry to watch that one and work the count to full now.
Felt like there was a few of those innings where things were really rolling along and then seeming to slow down again here in the bottom half of 6. And it's a strikeout. Coleman Perry thought he had the walk, but it paints the corner according to Levi Wegner. Let's watch where this ends up. And that's like the far down low corner. But it's a strikeout, and Sylvan Lake will take to the field. It's the top of the 7th when we come back. Guess you could argue that this is a little earlier than what we're normally used to seeing for Braden Stewart coming into this ball game, a closer. But here he is, top of 7, and it's the strikeout leader for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, number 25, Braden Stewart, in this ball game to close things out. Maybe he's the last pitcher we'll see for Sylvan Lake.
He's tied for 5th in the WCBL for strikeouts with 18 so far on the season.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He's definitely turned some heads here in Sylvan Lake so far this year. And that's why. Because when he throws, not only does he throw hard and fast, but he can find the zone. And a lot of guys have a tough time hitting his balls. This is Santiago, who lets that one go down low for a ball. Santiago 1 for 2 on the evening. Struck out back in the 4th, had a base hit in the 2nd, and then was the first of that double play that happened in the 2nd as well. Santiago lifting this foul past the kid zone. One and 2 to Santiago. Miguel Tetro on deck. And strikeout number 1 for Braden Stewart.
What more did you want? What more did you expect? Braden Stewart enters the game, and we get a strikeout as per usual. Throwing some heat there, and just a swing and a miss. Doing what he does best, make batters look foolish.
That's a combined 6 strikeouts on the night so far for the Sylvan Lake Gulls pitching staff. That'll bring up Miguel Tetro, who struck out as well back in the second and then popped out to right field, Charlie Collins, and he lines this just foul.
He's had some solid contact. That one that he hit into the outfield to Charlie Collins.
Oh.
If the wind didn't catch that, I don't think that one was going yard.
It was barreled. I mean, he hit that on the screws. There's just a lot of heavy wind coming from right field. And instead, he tries to do a little bit of small ball, and it's going to stay fair. Eli Duncan thought maybe that's going to trickle foul, so he just decided to let it ride out, and it didn't ride out the way he wanted. He's kind of maybe disappointed in himself. Not happy with how he read it, but no, that was just a great bunt down the line.
Yeah, the way it came off the bat, it looked like it might be starting to turn, so you don't blame him for making that decision to lay off of it, but then it just hung around and rolled past the third base bag, and that's fair.
Yeah, nice bunt single for Tetro. Now Arvin Burgos, 1 for 2. And he hits this into right field, but just foul. That had a chance. I honestly thought from this angle, from this advantage point, that maybe we were going to see that drop in, and Giants were going to start to put some things together here, but and I like the bunt option. The first option, he fouls off. Okay, second option, let's try to go bunt. And now a stolen base potentially, and another drop ball by this time Tylen Graves. So that's twice we've seen the throw be there, but when they go to tag out, it falls out of the glove. Like, it's a great arm by Sherman, and just on the tip of the glove, you see how as soon as Tylen Graves swings down a tag out on Tetro, it slips out of the end of his glove. So a good stolen base by Miguel Tetro. I mean, you got to be, at this point in the game, if you're Fort Mac, you got to be aggressive.
Yeah, you got to generate something here.
You got to start taking advantage of when you do get base runners on and start trying to move them around, get them in position.
And when you consider who's on the mound, too, like, you really got to push because you got someone on the bases against Stewart. That's pretty rare. You got to really move around the bases, get yourself in a good position to score because there might not be many more opportunities.
Well, and here's a storyline. This is the first time Fort McMurray has been in scoring position since the first inning. As this is grounded right to Tylen Graves, makes the throw, and it's dropped by Coleman Perry. And that is a rare drop as well. So Sylvan Lake starting to, I don't know, maybe things are getting a little slippery out there.
Yeah, things are starting to take a weird turn here for the Gulls as that one's sent right up the middle to Tylen Graves, makes the throw, and it's in the air this time to Perry, but it's still a little bit low.
Kind of at the ground. It literally was at the point of bouncing and catching at the same time for Coleman Perry. Tough grab for him, but they're crediting that, I think, a hit. I don't see any errors up on the board to Sylvan Lake. I would think that'd be an error, no?
It's hard to say. It's such a judgment call, scoring things, whether it's an error or a hit. It also depends. Sometimes there's some gamesmanship. You help the home team out a little bit with their stats. You're a little more lenient on what's a hit compared to what's an error.
Yeah. Well,
not saying that's the case, but that's typically what can happen.
Yeah, for sure. 0-2 to Young. And that's fouled off with the runner on the move there. Well, if there's anything to be said with the Sylvan Lake Gulls being in this situation, you like the guy that's on the mound right now when there's pressure, because Bryton Stewart seems to do just fine with a little bit of pressure.
He's a guy who can do it himself. He'll dial in and look for strikeouts.
Oh, wow, that was close. Just getting enough of that was Carson Young, just barely staying alive on that one. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, first time that the Giants have been in scoring position since back in the first inning.
An error has now gone up on the scoreboard.
Okay, so they are okay. I would, and that's kind of what I was thinking.
Would make sense.
Yeah. there's a strikeout. Second one of the inning for Braden Stewart.
Might not have been getting help as much as he wanted to from his defenders behind him, but it doesn't affect Stewart at all. He can do it all himself, get the strikeout when he needs it, and that's one that he needed.
Bring up the DH Kita Fugino, who's 0 for 2 on the night. And he fouls us back, 0-1. You know, for Fort Mac, it's got to be frustrating too for the night that they have had. You know, they haven't had any scoring, like they've had base runners, but they haven't had any that got into scoring positions since their last very similar situation where runners were on the corners. And Fugino watches that go by, 0-2.
Stewart's not necessarily throwing as hard as we've seen him, but that location is absolutely dialed, and it's still hot coming out of his hand.
Absolutely. I mean, and you got to wonder, the weather's got a little bit of a factor on it too, right? His hand's a little colder.
Yep.
You know, he's blowing into that hand, trying to keep it warm. 89 miles per hour still hitting on the gun. Have we seen him hit higher? Absolutely. What did we see? 96 hit the gun a few times. So this is a guy that, yes, he can throw hard, but on nights like this, it might obviously impact that a little bit. And then he can come in with an off speed and slow things down a little bit.
It's just his delivery too, like just to the eye, it doesn't look like it's that much slower, that fastball. Like it's still coming hard at you, and it's the reason why hitters are struggling with it and still striking out.
Still popping that glove. And that one kind of maybe got away from me. He looks down at his hand, and you see him, he resets right away. He knew right away, okay, what did I do there? Let's try to fix it with delivery. So even count here to Fugino. 2-away. And this is going to be lifted into right center field for a RBI single. So finally, Fort McMurray Giants are able to cash in a run. And Fugino gets on the board.
Yeah, Fugino finally.
Good at bat for Fugino.
Because he fouled off quite a few pitches there and then saw a couple balls and then finally kind of bloops one just into the outfield to get the Giants on the board here.
This is fouled. Back into the crowd. On the concourse it goes. All the kids go running for it, as always.
Stewart gets ahead almost every single time. The only batter, the last one, Fugino, had a 2-2 count. Otherwise, he's been ahead. 2-1, 2-0.
And Stewart coming into this game, .93 ERA. That was his only second run he's given up.
With now 20 strikeouts to his name, including this inning.
Yeah, 10 innings pitched or so, yeah. So pretty good.
2 per inning's a pretty good pace.
Absolutely.
Makes the Ks per 9 look really good when it's 18.
Yeah, no doubt. Marcus Orocho looking to keep this inning alive, down 1-2. Braden Stewart, though, has other plans, striking out his third batter of the inning. And, you know, no surprise with Braden Stewart. Obviously wants one of them back, but you know what? For the Sylvan Lake Gulls, that could have been a lot worse. And Braden Stewart literally wheeled and dealed this inning like he always does, with 3 strikeouts on the inning. Sylvan Lake coming to bat. The night lights have turned on. They've been on for a while, but now they're really starting to show here at Gulls Field as the Sylvan Lake Gulls up 7-1 over the Fort McMurray Giants. It's just been a dark, cloudy kind of day and dark, cloudy kind of night, but that's not stopping the fans from taking in some great Western Canadian Baseball League action on this Tuesday night. Tylen Graves at the plate. He's got on with a walk, got on with an error, struck out, made some good plays defensively. Overall, pretty good night. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have our EG Auctions Player of the Game, obviously, post-game show with Jared Waldo on the field level, and then, of course, us here in the broadcast booth. Graves lifts this into right center field. In the air it goes, and that will be caught by Diesel Santiago. Good catch there. And look at those guys. They're all done up to the nines, face masks, everything. That just goes to show how chilly it is out there today. Everybody dressed up.
Yeah, there's some balaclavas, some hoods up.
There's some hoods, yeah.
And that's just with the players on the field, let alone what we're seeing in the stands. It's a nippy one out there.
Very. We're lucky.
Yes.
We're in a nice warm broadcast booth right now. And Sherman turns on this, popping it high into foul territory, and it's going to be another catchable ball, and it will be. Carson Young makes sure on that play. And 2 pop flies go in the Giants' favor. Well, this might warm me up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about what we can look forward to at the end of the season after the baseball is over. Stay tuned because Gulls Summer Send-Off is on August 22nd. It's a Saturday. It's the last party of the season as we say goodbye to the summer. And we got some really good bands coming in. The Hip Replacements, Power Up, ABBA, all cover bands, of course, of some of your favorites. AC/DC, The Tragically Hip, and ABBA. So some good things there. Michael Quick now in this ball game for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, coming in to pinch hit for Dom Giusti. But, yeah, make sure you get your tickets for that summer send-off at sylvanlakegulls.com, or you can visit, just Google Summer Send-Off, Gulls Summer Send-Off, and it should take you directly to their website as well. 0-1 to Michael Quick. Summers are funny here in Canada, especially in Alberta. You look at last year, very similar start to the league that we had last year. Rainy in June, and Michael Quick fouls us off again. And it was rainy in June, a little bit better in July. It's still kind of rainy in July, if I remember correctly.
It was.
And then August and
Summer.
September and even
Summer.
October, summer weather. October, we had some really nice days until pretty much late, till that last week of October. Then it cooled right down. But we got some like Gulf weather days right until the late stages of October last year. So summer arrived a little late than what maybe the baseball players and baseball fans wanted, as Michael Quick turns on this and will drive this to right field for a base hit in his first at bat.
Yeah, nice little pinch hit. First base single. Just sending it up that right field side where he'll slot into play later on, or I guess center field. But a good piece of hitting there, and look to keep the wheels turning with 2 away.
Eli Duncan had a double at his last at bat. That was in the 6th inning. That's one thing that, Sylvan Lake's done a pretty good job of tonight, is sending a lot of batters to the plate. Fort McMurray has definitely had a tough time retiring some of these batters.
Yeah, with Duncan, this is the 5th time that we're going to be going through the order here.
Yeah. I mean, when you're almost batting every inning.
Yeah. It was the 4th and 5th inning that he didn't appear in.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's been in every inning. And that one, it clipped him. We're waiting.
He thinks it is. I'm not sure if.
We're waiting on a call from Levi Wagner. He's not sure. He's going to bring in his umpire crew here and have a discussion. But let's watch the replay. maybe that skins Eli Duncan, but he's definitely trying to sell it, and he sold it enough. They're giving it to him. So, okay. He's going to trot down to first. So that'll bring up Maddox Shaver, who finally got his first base hit, and it was an RBI single. Looking maybe for more here to keep this 2-out rally alive for the Gulls. Up 7-1. He fouls that off. He wanted that one big time.
With quick speed on the bases, it's a single could cash him in.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got some fast base runners. I mean, Michael's last name kind of...
It translates well.
Translates well, exactly. Shaver fouls this off again. 0-2. It's the off-speed stuff that's kind of getting him out in front of it. I mean, that one is 71 miles per hour pitch. And he just cuts underneath. Well, I got an update. Lethbridge now in a weather delay.
Oh.
But they tied the game up at 2-2 against the Okotoks Dogs here tonight. Moose Jaw Swift current tied 3-3, bottom of the 7th there. Regina looks like they're going to hold out for a huge win over the Saskatoon Berries. They're up 6-0 heading to the top of the 9th here. So be interesting to see how they manage the rest of this game, if they can hold on and, you know, put the Saskatoon Berries to a 10-5 record, which would be very close to Moose Jaw. And if Moose Jaw wins tonight, that would they'd be tied for first in the Eastern Division. Regina then would move up to 6-8, and then Weyburn is down 5-0 to Medicine Hat right now, and the bottom of the 7th. And that's popped up all over right over the screen, and that almost had the perfect type of velocity and range to like make it to me, almost.
Yeah, open up the window and make a little dive. And
Hold my legs, Scott. Hold my legs. Yeah. No, I don't know if I want to risk it that badly. 1-2 to Shaver, 2 down. Runners at first and second. And Shaver hits a good into right field, but it's going to get caught up and be a pretty easy catch by Braden Dick out in right field. So the inning comes to a close, but not before a base hit happens from Michael Quick. 2 base runners on, no runs to score. We'll head into the top of the 8th when we come back. After Sunday's win, the Sylvan Lake Gulls above 500 now on the season, 7-6. And as we take a look at our Forest Alberta power rankings after week 2 gone in the WCBL as of June 15th, Sylvan Lake did drop a point. They're in that 5th spot right now, 6-4, and they're going off the last 10 games, of course. So they're still 6-4 in the last 10, but Moose Jaw definitely took a few people by surprise, jumping up in the scale, going 7-3. Of course, the Okotoks Dogs 8-2. But yeah, definitely some things. Energy City is another one that moved up a couple spots. It's kind of cool to see. And of course, Brooks finally getting those 2 wins to start the regular season. They move up a spot as well. So yeah, cool to see the power rankings for week number, I guess, 2.5, 3, as of June 15th. Guess we're kind of in week number 3 right now. This ball hit hard, and they're just going to watch this go by. That's a home run for number 3, Nick Sauvé. A solo shot to lead things off here in the 8th inning.
That's the area of the field we were talking about pregame. If there's a chance for a ball to go out tonight, it's got to be left field, and that one was ratcheted up a few notches there by Sauvé, sending that one immediately out of the yard. Just the way it was hit, it was high, it was deep, and Cooper Zaselski knew that one was gone.
Yeah, he just turned around and watched it go. So Fort McMurray not going anywhere now. Back-to-back innings with a run scored. It's 7-2. 7 hits on the night. Brett Patillo is now at the plate. That's, yeah, Braden Stewart, not one of those guys that's used to seeing those kind of things come back the other way on him. Now he's down in the count, 3-1 here with 0 away. So I would think that they're going to maybe leave Braden Stewart, but now that I'm looking down towards the bullpen, somebody's going over there to talk with some of the guys. So that's going to be a walk for Braden Stewart to Brett Patillo. That'll bring up Braden Dick. So Fort McMurray just trying to put something together here late in the game. And you know what, Scott? I hate to say it. I mean, obviously it's a 7-2 game, but we've seen this a little bit from Sylvan Lake this year, haven't we? With the last few innings of the game, things start to the wheels start to fall off of a little bit. And it's not necessarily like it's a wheels falling off moment right now, but it's just that's when teams have seemed to pile on some runs, is in the late stages of the ball game against Sylvan Lake.
Yeah, we saw that earlier in the season, but this is also a different situation than we've seen early in the season. It's been in closer games or games that the Gulls have been trailing in, and just they give up some of those late runs, but they're also able to get a few of them back in their half of the late innings. But this one, they're up by a pretty good margin, so they have a bit of a cushion to work with.
Yeah, definitely no time to hit a panic button right now by any means. As Braden Stewart's, you're noticing he's throwing a little bit more off speed this time around. As maybe he's trying to fool Fort Mac, as they know that he's got the hot stuff. And he comes in there with a fastball, but missing the strike zone. 2-1. There's a strike. 2-2.
Going Old Faithful there, back to the fastball, just send it down Main Street. Catch me if you can.
And this is hit pretty good into center field, and it's going to get past Dom Giusti. Or sorry, it'd be Michael Quick trying to make the play on it. And it's a stand-up double for Braden Dick.
Had a chance at it. Michael Quick coming in and then makes the dive for it, but just off. Not much.
Would have been a wild catch if he comes away with that. In fact, actually, that's Charlie Collins out in center field right now. So I'm wondering if they put Michael Quick
over in right field.
Where he normally goes. So that was actually Charlie Collins that was trying to come up with it.
He's put some miles on in this game, that's for sure.
Sure has. So runners in scoring position, 0 out right now. And we're starting to hear how the Giants dugout, we've been hearing it for a while now, but it's getting louder and louder as this inning goes on. They're trying to, I guess, return the favor on heckling the pitcher that the Sylvan Lake Gulls were doing earlier in this ballgame.
I was going to say, if there's one guy who might be leading it, I wonder if it would be Ash Amerlin. Just to get back.
Starter for the Giants that had that go against him earlier on, absolutely. This is Adizio Santiago. He's made a couple nice plays out in center field, and he goes with a swing and a miss on that one. He's been busy, though, tonight out at center field. 4 catches that I can count right now that he has made in this game, and he hits this as a drive to right field, and that's going to drive in another run for Fort McMurray. So they're starting to get some momentum with the bats here, late stages of this ball game, and it's now a 7-3 lead for Sylvan Lake.
That's probably got to be the hardest part for Stewart, is that was a couple whiffs for the strikes, and then all of a sudden they barrel one up almost miraculously.
Yeah.
And they've made a good string of hits here to start a late game rally here.
And that's going to prompt a little visit from Matt Hape, just kind of settling everybody down in this ball game. Well, let's get a little bit take away from the ballpark and onto the golf course, as the Sylvan Lake Gulls Birdie Bash is on Monday, July 20th, Alberta Springs Golf Resort. Scott and myself are going to be there. That can't be good. Brought to you by Parallax Energy. 4 in advance. We'll just say that right now. Looking forward to it, though. It's always a good time. All proceeds go to the Gulls Give Foundation. And, the players will be on hand as well. We'll get to see their baseball swings to their golf swings, see who can connect on a golf ball. I know these guys can connect on a baseball, but see what they got for, a golf ball. And some guys can hit a ball, like even on the links, and they can hit it surprisingly straight, even though they got their crazy baseball swings.
I imagine there's some long drive potential.
Absolutely. All right, the runner's going to second, and the tag out is there. So that's huge for the Sylvan Lake Gulls.
Third one's a charm there for Reese Sherman. Finally gets that throw out over at second base. And nice pitch there, swing and a miss, and then dialed in, got him. Tried to swim around that, but Tylen Graves applies the tag there. Just beautiful defensive work there, and now we're 1 away.
And it's not like the throws haven't been there. It's just that one was the one where finally you could tell Graves really made sure that he hung on to that baseball when he went for the tag out. And a late call off here from number 2, Miguel Chetro. So that was a huge, huge out. A runner at third still, and Braden Dick. Here's a chance for Braden Stewart to take things in his own hands. But a very vocal game from what we can hear, and kind of picking up on some mics right now down at field level. And Braden Stewart finds the zone there. 1-2 on Miguel Tetro. Arwen Burgos on deck. And a swing and a miss. Drop ball. Reese Sherman's got to find it, and he'll throw it down to first. And Coleman Perry makes the catch, so a strikeout on Miguel Tetro.
Very interesting play. Get the strikeout, bobble the ball, got to throw over to first, but at the same time, you got to make sure you don't hit the batter, and then you got to make sure that the runner from third's not going to come in and try to score.
Yeah.
And Coleman Perry had his head up, making sure that he can make a return pass if he needed to.
Yeah, good heads-up play defensively from both those guys. And I think Stewart's like, okay, let's get this over with. Arwen Burgos 1 for 2, reached on base to an error as well in the 7th. It's the Gulls' only error. Somehow misses. Nine Ks on the fence for the Sylvan Lake Gulls here tonight. And that's hit hard, but foul. Just behind the bullpen.
Set up for one more.
Can he make it double digits? For the pitching staff, Gulls have sent 4 pitchers to the mound tonight. And this is hit hard to center field, and it's going to be dropped in for another base hit and another run scored for Fort McMurray. So just like they're now only down by 3 runs, with scoring 3 runs in this inning. Charlie Collins just letting that bounce. So a good RBI single for Burgos. And no sign of life in the bullpen for the Gulls. So they're going to let Braden Stewart get out of this inning and probably out of this game. Carson Young 0 for 3. He struck out last at bat. This is grounded right to Tylen Graves, who fields it, throws it, and it is a scoop by Coleman Perry for out number 3. Finally, the Gulls scored on a few hits, especially one long bomb, and Sylvan Lake will come to respond in the bottom of the 8th. Ball game for the Fort McMurray Giants. And he's from Chehalis, Washington. Goes to Eastern Oregon University. That'll bring up Gavin Galenza to lead things off. Maybe look for a response. I mean, the Gulls do have a 3-run cushion, but as we saw, that 3 runs can be, well, it can evaporate quickly in 1 inning, as the Giants just put up a 3 spot at the top of this inning, now making it a 7-4 ball game. It was 7-0 heading into the 6th inning. And this is hit hard by Galenza to left center field. That's going to take a couple hops and hop right off the wall for a stand-up double.
We're looking for a leadoff double here for Galenza, who entered the game as a pinch hitter back in the 6th inning, and he's done nothing but good things. Had a walk in that one and now a double here. So he's looking pretty good coming in off the bench.
Yeah, that's a good way to set the mood, I think, after maybe some problems in the top half of this inning. So Cooper Szyzelski looking to follow that up. 1 for 2, and he got on base with a couple walks. That off speed comes in, 71 miles per hour with some movement, catching the strike zone. This is actually Smitherman's first taste of action this season for the Giants. He's yet to see any innings, so good to see him in for Fort McMurray. Coming into tonight, Fort Mac had 55 runs for and 92 runs against. They were a -37 differential. Szyzelski pops this up, and the wind's actually bringing it back in, and it did stay in. It looked like it was going to go foul, and good effort there by the catcher, Nick Sauvé, as he kind of ran into the wall a little bit there on the slide.
He had a chance.
He did.
That's all you ask for. Ball stayed in play. He tracked it. Like I said, a good effort there.
We had a great advantage point, too. When that ball got up in the air, it just stopped, and then it came back in. The wind really held it. So Szyzelski even count, 2-2. Galenza over at second. And Szyzelski just gets enough of that to fight it off. Tipping that back. I'll give these fans credit. It's been a long one. They've been sticking around. Those that have stuck around, it looks like it might have cleared out a little bit from what we can see. There could be people just underneath, and Szyzelski lifts this into center field, and it's going to be caught by Diesel Santiago for his 5th catch of the night.
Busy spot in center field.
It sure has been.
Between the catches and just how many balls have blooped down into that center field region or just hit straight up through the middle by second base, it's been a busy alleyway tonight.
I'm going to bring up Charlie Collins. 0 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Ball swung on, hit well, deep left field, going all the way back. It's out of here. Charlie Collins goes yard and drives in 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now 9-4, Gulls lead it.
The man from down under getting things done, going over the wall. A big hit there, pretty much a moonshot out to center field. shading over just left side, missing the big video board in the outfield, but that was a big one. Obviously, the wind has died down a little bit as we've seen the ball exit the stadium a couple times now.
Not gonna lie, I did not have that on my bingo card tonight. The way the wind was going, I did not think we'd see anything going over the fence, but especially at center field, or just left of center field. That was a well-struck ball by Charlie Collins. Absolutely incredible stuff from him, and it was timely. I mean, Sylvan Lake needed that from their offense after the defensive, not collapse, but, you know, definitely defensive mishap that was going on. And
Bryce Turner wore that one.
Bryce Turner comes in for Coleman Perry, and he's quickly greeted in the harshest way with one off the back. So Turner over at first. And that'll bring up Tylen Graves. It's Collins' first homer. And the kid's got 4 RBIs on the night.
You know what they say down under?
What do they say?
Good on ya.
Good on ya. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, 4.
A walk for one of them and a deep fly out to center field, and then he finally got one to go yard.
And coming into tonight's game, he had 0. So he gets on the RBI board, and then he really goes with the RBIs.
Once you see one.
Yeah. It's kind of like in hockey, when you score a goal, they just seem to come more naturally, and that's maybe the case for the kid down under.
Sounds like someone I know this last winter in your league. Took him half the season,
thanks for bringing that
when
up.
he scored, he had 4 that game.
Unbelievable. I thought I was safe bringing you onto this broadcast. I thought my hockey stats would not even come close to making their way into this. Yeah. That's the way she goes. I can relate in a big way.
That's baseball.
That's baseball. 2-2 the count. Oh, that was rude. Tylen Graves, full count.
You're regretting bringing me on this year, aren't
yeah.
you?
Yeah, you just remember who brought you into this broadcast food. Full count to Graves. Bryce Turner over at first. We get time called. Something maybe in the eye here of Graves. Wind blew something in. That's the worst. Whether it's a fly, a bug, or the wind. I wouldn't think there'd be any bugs down there right now with the way this wind's going. Like, there's no way mosquitoes are out and about. But could just blew something in his eye. A little dust or something. And he does a good job to foul that off after what he was dealing with. So, yeah, Sylvan Lake, yeah, they may have, like you mentioned it. In fact, you called it. You know, we've seen that earlier in the season. When the Gulls, you know, give up some runs late in the game, they seem to still come back and answer, adding a few of their own. And they did that here in this 8th inning, having 2 more. Thanks to the big long bomb from Charlie Collins. But strikeout there to Tylen Graves. A nice up high inside. That's a good pitch, actually.
That is good location there.
Great location by Gabe Smitherman.
Yep. Brings up Reese Sherman, who's we saw have that arm finally connect for a caught stealing situation. Took him 3 tries, but finally got it.
Yeah. He's 1 for 2 on the night with an RBI double. Oh and 1 to Reese Sherman. And we're looking down at the bullpen. It looks like no action, hey?
Doesn't appear to be.
No. So thinking we'll see Braden Stewart coming back out to close this game. That would mean he'd get 3 full innings of work. So good to see, as we were seeing some action. I think that was Gavin Galenza maybe just going to pick up the catcher mitt and mask from the bullpen to kind of clean it up, clear it out. 0-2, 2 away on Reese Sherman. Runner at first, that's Bryce Turner. And Sherman hits this high and hard to center field, but this is going to go over the head. And it's going to be another run scored for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Misjudgment there by Diesel Santiago. He kind of stood still, looked up, and I thought he was going to make the play, but then lost maybe sight of the ball. I think that's I don't know where the ball is.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, sure enough, it goes back to the warning track and takes a hop off the wall. So
I don't blame him because I lost that one too.
Yeah.
But
just the way the sky is right now, the darkness of the sky and the
get some lighting as well.
You get the bright lights in the eyes. Yeah.
And that wind too. That's been kind of
the wind's
twisting all night.
Playing game. So anyway, that was maybe a lucky break for Sylvan Lake. And now they come back to score 3 runs, and they go back up by 6 runs.
Clean slate here in this inning now with those runs tying what was happening in the top of the inning.
I mean, it was a well-hit ball. I could tell from right off the bat that was well struck, but with the way the wind is going, you just don't know if, is that got a chance? And this is going foul. It's going to land harmlessly. But I was there for a second wondering, is this going over the fence?
That's what my initial instinct was, and then the way
yeah,
that Santiago was in the outfield is like, okay, he's got a beat on this one, and then he stuck his arms up, and that's coming down.
I thought the arms out was like, okay, I got this. This is my ball originally, and then he turns around and starts running back, and you're like, oh no, he doesn't have this ball.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Quick turn of events there.
Speaking of that, Michael Quick at the plate right now. See what I did there? Popped up though. This is a pop fly. It's going to stay shallow left field, and it'll be grabbed by Carson Young. So the inning does come to a close. However, Sylvan Lake Gulls do some damage to the scoreboard, just missing the Z98.9 logo. We'll be back. Top of 9 next. Braden Stewart out for his third inning of work, looking to close this game out. Ran into a little bit of issues back in the top of the 8th inning, but not to worry because his offense had his back coming into the bottom of the 8th, adding 3 more runs of their own. Now it's a 10-4 Sylvan Lake lead. 10-4, good buddy.
I was about to say that. Gotta be quicker
Beat you
than
to
that.
it. Beat you to it. Giants go back to the top of the batting order. This is Kita Fujino. The hard cut at that first pitch. 0-1. Giants out hitting the Gulls in this game. 10-8. And this will be interesting to see what tomorrow night brings because these two teams go back at it again. They're going to see each other a lot this year, actually. It's first of 10 meetings between these two clubs. And they're vocal against each other, aren't they? I mean, we're here in the Giants dugout right now trying to do everything they can to get into Braden Stewart's head. You could see them all up on their feet, engaged in a game that, I mean, is kind of out of stretch, and it's even more so out of stretch now with that strikeout. Out of reach, I should say, sorry.
Yeah, that last inning was kind of their best shot at it. He not that he wasn't settled in, but he gave up that home run off the bat and then a walk and then a couple more hits, and then he kind of got back into the swing of things, and now he's started off right back where he left off at the strikeout.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that start of that 8th inning, it was a very uncharacteristic Braden Stewart that we were seeing.
But he picked up his 5th strikeout of the game with Fujino fanning at it.
Yeah. That one takes a hop. 2-1. He's already pitched 60 pitches in this game, 62 to be exact. That's
Yeah, he had 55 pitches in his first 2 innings, so it was some heavy lifting for him to do.
Yeah.
And he's now surpassed the starter of the night, Noah Bourgeois, who I believe had 57 pitches.
In 4 innings.
Yes.
Which is
quite efficient.
Pretty efficient, yeah. Yeah, great night for, again, the starter on the mound, Noah Bourgeois. Something like Gulls getting back-to-back starts. Pretty good there. Nice stop there by Graves. Bobbled it, and then he throws it, and not in time. Just not in time. That little bobble, I mean, that's a tough play to make.
I was just impressed that he knocked it down and keep it in the infield,
Seriously.
let alone to have a shot at him at first base as he stretched out, gobbled it up, throws it over, and
wow.
Maybe if that throws on line, but that was a close one, an impressive effort there from Tylen Graves. Give it a shot.
Yeah, great stop in the infield. That's going to be a base hit, though, for the Giants. So Marcus Orocho over at first. Double play to end would be just what maybe the doctor would order for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Only one double play tonight, if I'm not mistaken, and that was back in the 2nd inning. Oh, 0-2 to Nick Sovey, who had that home run back in the 8th inning. And he just fights that one off to stay alive. You wonder if Braden Stewart remembers that home run, and maybe he's thinking, I would like some revenge on this kid.
Yeah.
You know, a little battle right now between pitcher and batter. And that off speed comes a little off. His hat comes off as well.
A little gust of wind there.
That wind really picked up on that last one, yeah. One and two to Sove, and he's got him. A little bit of, hey, how are ya? You might have got one on me last time, but not this time, kid. And it's got him. Swinging.
Up and
Strikeout.
in.
Another up and in, yeah.
Make that 6 on the night for Stewart.
And 11 on the night for the pitching staff of Sylvan Lake. So he's done half the lifting for the strikeout tally. Over half of it.
In a third of the game, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So he's still easily finding Ks, and Fort McMurray down to their final out. Down 10-4 to Sylvan Lake. And of course, a pretty good lead, and they're just going to let him take it. By the time by the time Marcus Orocho went for that stolen base, he was almost halfway there already. He was quite a ways that way. He was at least a quarter of the way there before he took off. He had a huge lead. But Sylvan Lake not worried about it. Braden Stewart's not worried about it.
It's one that's probably not going to make any difference here.
No. Stewart, 1 strike away. Patillo on his final strike. Final out. Sylvan Lake looking to close this one out, and they will. Braden Stewart strikes out Patillo, and the Sylvan Lake Gulls defeat the Fort McMurray Giants 10-4 in night 1. We take a look at it again here, and well, actually won't, but yeah, just a good night of work for Braden Stewart. And Sylvan Lake Gulls get the job done, take care of business, just like they needed to in this game. And a good start to the week now to kind of set up for what comes tomorrow and maybe what comes to, Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend with the Lethbridge Bulls in town. So, overall, Scott, I really like this game from Sylvan Lake.
Yeah, it was a good one from the start. They kept things quiet, few scoreless innings, and then they get a big third inning there, scoring 5 runs, and a lot of walks were issued there, 4 of them, and they all come in to score, and then some errors to help out as well. But really from then on, that's all they needed. They kind of took care of business after that.
Well, Jared Waldo, you see him on your screen standing right by the logo. He's dancing. Him and Sully are having the wind dance, and he's getting ready to interview our EG Auctions player of the game. Now joining him, let's hand it down to field level with Jared Waldo.
Host Jared Waldo.
Thank you very much, Joe. Our EG Auctions player of the game tonight, starting pitcher Noah Bourgeois. Noah, congrats on the win. Take us through the night.
Yeah, definitely a cold one. Just trying to get out there, compete, put up zeros. The fellas did a great job in the box, working counts, punched through there in the third for us, and then the team just took care of business the rest of the way.
Yeah, you guys improved to 8-6, 3 in a row. It feels like this team is starting to come together the way that I think we all thought it would.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys are starting to gel well with each other. Starting to have a lot of fun.
You mentioned the cold. Does it change anything as a pitcher when you have to adjust to the temperature, a warmer day versus a colder day, or is it just you play through it the best you can?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's playing in the same weather. Their starting pitcher, us, the hitters, everyone. So you kind of just go with the same mindset and just push through.
Well, let's see if we can do it again tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Your player of the game for EG Auctions, Noah Bourgeois.
Well, there it is, Bob, with the EG Auctions player of the game. Another great start from your pitching staff on a night that you need it, from Bob and Noah Bourgeois and the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Get the job done here again tonight. 10-4 victory over the Fort McMurray Giants. The Giants now on a 5-game losing skid, Scott. So tomorrow should set up and tee up for an interesting game for the rematch, especially with how vocal these two teams were with each other.
Yeah, they're both kind of getting after each other, especially early on in the game when all those walks were issued there from Amerlan. And from then on, the Giants were looking for their chance to chirp back at the Gulls, and they had a few opportunities later in the game against Stewart, but ultimately Stewart came in, closed the door on him. 7 strikeouts in his 3 innings of work. It was a pretty solid way to close out the night. Yes, he gave up 4 runs, but those 7 strikeouts look pretty good against it.
They did, and there's a combined total of 12 strikeouts on the night by the team. But you definitely saw flashes from Fort McMurray. I mean, a run scored when they finally got that run scored in the 7th inning, and then the 3 in the 8th. Yes, started to see, okay, this team can put some bats together, and I think we'll be ready for some of that tomorrow night.
Yeah, it was a good late game rally for the Giants to try to work themselves back in the game. They found themselves down by only a few runs there by the end of it, but then the Gulls get them right back, and they go back to square one where they were to start the inning, and then they close out shop, and that's what they're going to look to do tomorrow night.
Sylvan Lake Gulls now 8-6 on the season. Another terrific start by that man, Noah Bourgeois. 5 strikeouts, 4 innings, just giving up 3 hits and no run scored. It was an incredible play from their starter to start things out, as Ash Amerlin, had some pretty unique plays, but then he got in a little bit of trouble. Some great defense by the Sylvan Lake Gulls. The crowd really hung in there all night, didn't they? I mean, it was a cold one. The Gulls were getting chirpy. The Fort McMurray Giants were chirping it back, receiving, giving. All of it was happening here at Gulls Field. Tyler Graves, with a nice drill there and a good catch over at third by Eli Duncan. As there was some good pitching, some good defensive plays, and we get to see it all over again tomorrow night as more Ks go up on the fence here at Gulls Field. Another one flies over the fence for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. For Scott Stimpson, Calvin Bellows at Green Onion Media, I'm Cale Clark with another bird's eye view on this one. Gulls win 10-4.